Hello, I am Gregory the Poor Typist, and this is Typewriter Club Live. Welcome. Let me just get situated here, just a moment. All right, so we are live on YouTube, and once again, I'm starting the meeting on my own, which is okay. I don't mind. I do not mind. Let me just find where I am. There we go. And there we go. Excellent. So yes, I do want to make one announcement. So today is the final day to sign up for the Postcard Exchange. If you're not already a member of TypePals, be sure and go to typepals.com and sign up. It's free, and it always will be free. There are paid levels, but yeah, you're totally welcome to sign up for free. And then you'll be able to access under events, the Postcard Exchange. So today is the last day to sign up for the Postcard Exchange. This is a wonderful postcard I received from Emily. So I think it's fairly well known that that I'm a big fan of goats. So she sent me a postcard of a bunch of goats in nomadic Mongolia. That's so awesome. Yes. So basically every month, I think it's the third Monday of the month. I could be wrong, but we have our postcard exchange, and we've had a very good turnout. So I'm pretty pleased with that. And again, signing up at typepals.com is free. Basically, there's a member directory where you can connect with other people. Each person gets their own profile. You can put what typewriters you're using, what your interests are, what your background is. You can post photos. We do have forums. I don't think they get a lot of use, but they're there. Yeah. So again, completely free, and it's always going to be free. But the members thus far have been extremely generous. So TypePals is going to be going for quite some time. Yes. All right. I'm surprised no one has logged in yet. It may just be me. But as a reminder, the typing prompt for today is school memories. All right. We have Steve joining us. Excellent. So I'll relay one school memory just as I'm waiting for people to join. So in preschool, I guess I was a real jokester when I was young, and yeah. So in preschool, I had this teacher. Her name was Mrs. Bird, and I like to give her a hard time, and I would say, "Hey, Mr. Bird, watch me go down the slide." Yeah, and then she'd say, "I'm not Mr. Bird, I'm Mrs. Bird." And so again, I'd say, "Hey, Mr. Bird, watch me go down the slide." Yeah, I was a very different child than I am now. Now I'm a much different child. So welcome, Steve. How are you? Can you hear me?
Hi, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Your picture is very laggy.
Hi.
Yeah, your picture is very laggy. Okay, you're back to life now. Well, I think you just froze again.
All right.
All right. Well, I hear you, and you're moving again, so that's a good sign. So how are you?
Fine. Yeah, just check in early so that I could.
Oh, you're cutting out. Oh dear. You must have AT&T because, well, I have AT&T, but I often have horrible internet connections. Yeah.
All right, I'm out. All right.
It, I don't know if you have a smartphone, but you can download. Oh, yeah. If you do have problems with your computer and your home Wi-Fi, you can always log in to the app on your cell phone, and often 4G is plenty. Of course, you'll have this tiny screen. I used to host Typewriter Club Live using the cell phone, so yeah. Well, it looks like it's gonna be a slow morning. Yeah, but cheers. I have my Central Perk coffee mug. A few years back, the wife and I took the WB Studio Tours Studios tour, and it was a lot of fun. They have a kind of a mock-up of the Central Perk set, complete with the couch, and then you can get your picture taken on the couch. So we have that, and of course I had to get this, even though on the show their mugs did not have the logo. Well, I am going to check on YouTube. Maybe there's some comments on there. We do have Mark 80 Bojang Running Wild. Oh, you're at work, but at least you're watching. Oh, and you know what? On that, I am signed under the wrong account. Let me see if I can switch that real quick. Let me tell you, I have a lot of YouTube channels. By the way, I'm up to 300. Oh, I'm up to 330 subscribers on my YouTube channel, and I'm very, very thankful to you guys. All right, so we do have 4 people watching. One of those is probably me. Yeah, I guess I should have prepared more stuff to talk about. I wasn't expecting to have such a slow start this morning. Yeah, but feel free to, if you don't want to come on camera, feel free to comment on YouTube, and I'll try and include those here. We have Eric joining us. Thank goodness. I'm starting to get lonely, and I didn't have much to say otherwise. So yeah. All right. Yeah. Should just be a moment. By the way, this is instant coffee. So I was running short on time, and so I had to do the dirty water. Oh, cheers to you. Excellent.
Coffee, the most important meal of the day.
Yeah, I know, right? That is so true. I actually have a mug I made specifically for instant coffee, and it says "quick and dirty" on it. Sometimes that's all you have time for. So I've been experimenting with different brewing techniques. Vietnamese thin filter, and kind of my go-to is the French press. And then what's the other one I've been using? Oh, one I've really been enjoying, and a lot of people frown upon it, is the mocha pot.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, it's an Italian coffee maker, and basically you put it on the stove. It has like a chamber of water at the bottom, and as the water heats, it pushes steam and therefore water up through the coffee grounds, and then it gets caught in this chamber on the top.
Right, so it's just like a percolator.
Very similar, very similar. It is capable of making better coffee than a percolator, though, especially if you do it correctly. I recently discovered if you start with hot water, so like boiling water in the bottom chamber, you'll get a better result, because if you start with cold water and allow it to heat up, it'll actually essentially it's going to burn the coffee.
Yeah.
And that's not a good taste. Yeah, but this morning just instant. So, but yes, how are you, Eric?
Good. How are you?
Very good, very good. I was excited to get a postcard from Emily.
Oh, nice.
I was showing it at the beginning there. A field of goats. And
I was going to ask you to zoom in closer, but that's a cool postcard.
yeah, let me make myself big here. There we go. Focus. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
That's
nice.
Mongolia. So, because I have a thing for goats, so
Nice.
I'm not even entirely sure how it started, but now I'm kind of known for it. I think the picture I use on Type Pals, I think that's me with a goat. So
Nice.
yeah. And how are you, Kyle?
Great. Yeah, I'm got some stuff going on later, so I saw the alert and I was like, oh, I can actually join in right now. So
Excellent.
yeah, I got let's see. I'm on my phone. I'm prepping. Oh, sorry, I'll put my foot down. Hold on. There we go. Now I'm back. Prepping out like some little tea sandwiches for brunch today.
Nice.
So I'm like right in the midst of that. But
I will be right over.
a short 5-hour flight.
Yeah, there you go.
Or Eric, you're in New Hampshire, right? So that's not as far.
Yeah, where are you?
I'm down in DC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so not too bad.
All those states are pretty close together.
Yeah.
Yeah, closer than California, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And then did you send out the postcard exchange already, or is that tomorrow? You need to sign up today for tomorrow.
You have to sign up today. I ended up sending out an email.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, I created the event too late, and I figured most people probably wouldn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I sent that out, and a lot of people quickly joined. So
yeah, I'll make sure to sign up today. Yeah, because definitely been enjoying it. So
excellent.
And I got Ted last time, so I'm like, dang, I'm just rolling with the heavy hitters here.
I know. I don't know that I'm a heavy hitter, but anyway.
Fearless leader for sure. So that's what's that?
Anything new in your world? Any new typewriters or?
No, the biggest thing I was just gonna say is that we have a nice little Mid-Atlantic Facebook group here, collector group on Facebook. And I was out of town last weekend or 2 weekends ago, and someone posted a $15 green SM3, which has been like kind of what I've wanted to get next. And so it just absolutely killed me that like the weekend, and I look every day, and the weekend that I was out of town, it popped up. So that's, the latest in my typewriter world. And then I'm a little bit behind. I finally got a letter off to Mike in Suquamish. And then, but I'm like 2 or 3 people behind that I need to do this afternoon. So that'll be, and who knows, maybe I can catch the end of this, and then, I'll hop off and then catch the end of this maybe. And then do a couple, 2 or 3 letters. So that's it for me mostly, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. So just still on the hunt. Oh, actually that was something I was going to ask you about. So I know I caught last week on the replay, and I know Patty was talking about maybe divesting of a couple SM3s or 4s. So I was going to see, I didn't see her on the directory. So I was going to see if maybe you could put me in contact with her.
Yeah.
Or not. Cause I would be interested in seeing what she's pricing those at, and, they could go to a good home. So, or one of them could go to a good home. So.
Interesting. I thought she was a
I
member.
could just be missing it or not. She could be using a different name on Zoom than she is on the directory, and I'm not seeing it. So
Yeah. Let's see here. And by the way, you can download an app called Wild Apricot, and you sign in with your username and password that you created on TypePals, and you can access the directory right on your phone in an app. So here.
that's a good thing to know.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna start making a series of short videos showing the different features of TypePals, and
Yeah, that'd be great.
Get some more members going. Although I think we're pretty close to 80 members right now. So the Patty.
So Eric, any new typewriters for you, Eric?
No, I haven't found any new ones in a while. But
Just been typing.
Yeah, but I was going to show this book that I got recently picked up on Amazon.
Yeah, let me.
Oh, that looks nice.
Yeah.
Is that is it a coffee table book or is it a?
Yeah.
Tell me more about it.
Yeah, so it's a graphic history of the typewriter, and basically it's just like the history of the typewriter, and there's photos and captions and just like
Oh, that looks really nice.
there's a lot of like reproductions of just patents, and there's like some advertisements and stuff.
Cool.
Sorts of pictures. So it's a really thorough book. I mean, there's a lot of.
like it.
Is it new-ish, or how did you find it?
I found it recently, but it came out in 2015.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
You know,
there's
I know I've
great
had
stuff
it
in here.
in my wish list for quite some time.
Yeah, yeah, I recommend picking it up. It's a nice, it's a really interesting book.
Excellent. Very cool.
Okay, well, we just got our next postcard material.
Wake up and smell the dill.
New postcard making material, aka beer to drink.
Oh, I get it. It took a moment, but I got it. Because Kyle likes to make the postcards out of the beer cases. Yeah. Well, very cool, Eric. Now, Eric, I was remembering last week. I believe you said you had something new.
Yeah, it was that book.
Okay. I was oh my goodness, we never get a chance to
That's right.
Oh, I felt so bad. These things hit me like during the middle of the week. I'm like, oh my goodness, Eric never showed that.
Yeah, no, it was more important to get through all the people that joined. See what they
big
were
group
up to.
last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Angela, how are you?
I'm fine. Glad to be here today.
Excellent. We're glad you're here as well.
Thanks.
We're a small group so far. So
far.
Yeah. Anything?
I can't tell, Angela, is that a real background or a Zoom background?
No, the real background is not nearly so nice.
Oh.
I'm in a house that I'm renovating. The house that I'm in is I'm renovating. So the wall behind me is studs. Open studs.
Nice. I'm on my phone, so it was like really small, so I couldn't quite tell if it was.
Yeah. You could tell because the guy in the background
hasn't moved. Well, I thought it was just slow service, you know.
Yeah. Oh my.
I've said that before. Oh man.
I got Eric's letter yesterday. Thank you, Eric.
Excellent.
All right, guys, I gotta hop off. I'm sorry.
All right. Thank you so
I'll try
much.
to catch you at the end. See you later.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.
It was a great day. I got 2 letters yesterday in the mail, so that was exciting.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's always exciting when that happens. It's happened a few times to me. Yeah. But then at the same time, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm already so far behind.
Yeah. And I got your second letter, Gregory.
It was funny. As I was reading your letter, I was like, now, is she responding to the first one or the one.
Yeah, I hadn't received the second one yet.
And then my wife told me, well, I don't think it's been long enough that she already received the second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you not? I messaged you on the site telling you that I got the letter,
Oh, okay.
but I guess that you didn't get that message.
I did not. No.
Oh, well, it was fun to get to.
I was kind of curious, like how different they are. I think I stuck pretty well to the same information. I'm just hoping like information didn't change.
Gotcha. Yeah. No, it's good.
Good. Plus, I think the second one was a little bit longer, right? Or about the same?
Yeah, they were close to the same. But
Okay.
I got a sticker in the second one, so that was exciting.
Yeah, I felt bad that you hadn't received it yet. So yeah, so I thought I would just throw that in there. I heard chipmunks in the background. I think that's you.
That's funny.
Yeah.
We cannot hear what you're saying. We just hear chipmunks.
Yeah. But it's good to have another new face. Yeah. Now, Angela, what is the time frame that you go back to the other house? Is that
I'm looking right now at about October 10th because here's why. I was running low on funds and I had not received my tax refund. So I finally said, I better get a job. So I went to Sam's Club here in Bangor and got hired. And then a couple days after I accepted the position, I got my tax refund.
Oh.
So I didn't really have to get the job. But at that point, I was like, okay, well, in my mind, a part-time job is about 3 days a week. I've been scheduled for 5 days a week and it's killing me because I can't work on my house. So
Oh, no.
I went in yesterday and I said, look, I part-time to me meant 3 days a week. And she said, okay. So after September 3rd, I'll go to 3 days. But yeah, tell them I was only going to be here for the summer. So I figured, okay, I'll stretch it out a little bit as long as I can. And then I'll go back to Virginia.
Okay. So basically they considered part-time 5 days a week, maybe like 4 hours.
Anything less than 40 hours is part-time.
Oh, wow. So even 39
Yeah.
hours.
So I've been working 5 days and, they take off. I'm not used to hourly because I've been a salaried worker for the last 30 years or, subbing is by the day. So off the half hour for lunch. So even if you work, you have 40 hours scheduled, they take off that time for lunch. So you're still at 37 and a half. So you're still sneaky,
wow.
huh?
Yeah.
I didn't think about, I'm a cashier at Sam's Club. Everything's heavy.
Yeah.
We have to pick things up and put them on the belt, move them down, put them back. I'm like, oh, my body is so tired. I'm so glad to have a day off today.
But you should be used to it, hefting typewriters.
Yeah, not every 3 seconds.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Generally, we set them down and leave them there for at least a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's been hard, but
yeah.
staying resting.
Okay. Oh, you still have the chipmunk voice.
Must have some sort of audio filter on, maybe. Is there like audio filters that you can put on?
I don't know. That's
You sound
voice
like
changing.
That's what you sound like. You could try the chat option also.
Yeah, you could
Question.
just leave yourself muted, and I mean, I hate to do that, but and earlier the first person to sign on was Steve Ivan, and he just has all kinds of issues. Like every single week, he has issues. I feel so bad for him, but because he wants to participate, but it's you can fix it. Okay.
Yes, you can.
I mean, we're not against chipmunks here, but it can be a little hard to understand what you're saying, though. Oh yeah. So has your job also been taking away from your typewriter usage?
I'm still managing to reply to my letters, which is good.
Okay.
Now I have 2 more to reply to, but yeah, I only have, I think, 1 still in the book. You know, put them in the front of the book, and then as I answer, I move them into their proper location in my binder. So I think
Okay.
so that's not bad. I can
Yeah.
probably do it today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike's not on here, but it's funny. Mike Derling and I both live in Virginia, and I had I had written to him. Turns out he knows my cousin from things we wrote back and forth. I realized, okay, you might know my cousin Tanis, and he does. So that's kind of funny.
That is funny. Yeah, my dad was raised in Rose Hill, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he was born there. I always get very confused about where he was born. I know at some point he mentioned Tazewell County, Tennessee, but I know he grew up in Rose Hill, Virginia. They lived in a log cabin. Yeah, and well, actually, speaking of school memories, which is our typing prompt. If I ever wanted to really make people think I was weird in school, I would tell them my dad grew up in a log cabin and my mom grew up in the jungle, which is also true actually, because my grandparents were missionaries. So she grew up in the jungles of Peru. So
Wow.
which she has a lot of fun with. One time, because she's very fluent in Spanish. So one time she was in line at the grocery store, and these gentlemen, I think behind her, they were talking in Spanish, and they were talking about her, and so she just turned around and started talking to them in Spanish, and they were both so embarrassed. So it was pretty funny. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to send a website that you can look up your ancestry, and then you'll know.
Ah. Okay.
That one is amazing. I was able to go back, goodness, at least, I don't know, more than 10 generations back for my family.
Wow. Yeah.
That's already in there. And you can learn all kinds of stuff.
Very cool.
So then you'll know where your dad was born.
Yeah. I know I have it in paper somewhere. Yeah, but
I always thought I was German, and I found out, I did ancestry.com, also found out I'm mostly Scottish.
Okay.
52% they said.
Okay, do I sound like a human now?
Ah, you do.
Yes.
How are
you
today? And since you're new, did you want to tell us a little about yourself?
Sure, I've been watching you guys on YouTube for a few weeks. Finally, I thought I figured out how to join.
You have.
My name's Jason. I'm in Toronto, in Canada, and I've been watching this on YouTube, like I said, and I joined in on the virtual Herman's last fall, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really great just to be able to do this. So I think it's great that you're doing this to bring people around, because I'm not sure if there's a community here for typewriters in Toronto. Certainly I've never, I have not found those people yet anyway.
Yeah.
Someone else is buying typewriters though, because every now and then I see one that I store or something, and I go, I think I'm gonna go back and look for it, and it's already gone. So there's someone else out there. So it's not just me.
They're just
apparently there's some young people are getting into typewriters too, just that old vintage stuff, and they love it. So it might not be a type collector, but some of the youngsters that are thinking it's cool.
Yeah. So
the hipster crowd.
Yeah.
So I was born in 75, so I kind of grew up with like that first generation of computers. So my parents had a typewriter, but I never really, like, by the time I was old enough in school, like in the higher grades where you have to write reports and things, we'd already started to move to computers. So it's very much for me. It's when I started to get back into typewriters, I found one at a pawn shop about 5 or 6 years ago. And I thought, well, let me get that. And just because I have kids now. So I thought, let me show my kids what a typewriter looks like. And, this is where the keyboard that you play with came from. And so I've accumulated quite a bit since then. Not a lot by, some of the folks I've seen online and read about their collections. But I probably got, I don't know, 20 or 25 at any one time. I'm not really a collector. I'm kind of like doing I call it like an elaborate taste test. I'm trying to find like the perfect typewriter, and I just keep getting them to see what they're like. And I've been tinkering around with repairing them because every now and then, you pick one up and it doesn't work. So that's become kind of fun. So yeah, that's my typewriter background.
Unless you plan on getting rid of them, I would say you're already a collector.
Yeah.
I would like to keep it down to like the 5 that I'd actually use regularly, but right now I haven't figured out which 5 those are yet.
Gotcha.
I have a few that are not in working order, and I have a few that I bought on eBay and they got damaged in shipping, so they need some work. And then now people are giving me typewriters. So someone just gave me an old Remington. I haven't even looked at the serial number. I think it's a 30s or 40s Remington. Just because they know I like typewriters, and they said, well, we're not going to do anything with it. So it was my father's or my grandfather's or something. So here you can have that. And then my parents, actually, maybe the only really valuable typewriter I might have, and I don't know if it's that valuable, was my parents for Christmas gave me an Oliver. I think it's a Model 3, and it's almost complete. It's missing a few bits like the spool covers and stuff, but it only types halfway along the carriage, so it needs some work too.
Yeah.
But it was kind of a thrill to get to see that in motion and actually be able to press the keys and see those big wings flying around.
Yeah, very unusual.
I think my initial impression is that it looks more interesting than it is to actually use.
I kind of got that feeling. That's why I haven't gone out of my way to get one. So yeah. It's definitely like a showpiece, though. I mean, set that up, and that's going to create some conversations.
Oh, for sure. Someone had a blog post, I'm not sure who, about how they went to all this work to restore one, and once they got it restored, they were kind of like, it's not really a great typewriter to type.
I know. I'm drawing a blank on his. Yeah, Indro, one of our members, Indro. That's kind of how he felt. He got it like spotless and perfectly working, and he just wasn't thrilled with it, so he sold it and he made a good profit. So yeah.
So I'd like to get it at least working like fully functionally, and then I may end up doing the same thing, because it's not really big, but it's awkwardly shaped, so it takes up a lot of space, and it's really, really heavy. For the size of it, it's really heavy.
Yeah. That's probably something you just want to sell locally, right? And not trying to ship it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Yeah, I don't know how I would pack it to keep it from getting damaged.
Exactly. Yeah, very good. Mike, you're here early.
Yeah, I'm here early. Yeah.
We were just talking about you earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, I caught a little of that on YouTube. I just sort of checked in before I checked in here. But actually, I got a text from Angela's cousin that her husband wasn't feeling well this morning, so I didn't go to archery today. So, so I'm here a little early. I may have to drop out in an hour or so, but I thought I'd come in and say hello and see how everybody's doing and everything like that. So
yeah. And anything new in your world?
Nothing really. I haven't bought anything this week, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I've slowed way down myself. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a couple of. We actually went to some antique shops. Saw like 2 sort of trashed Underwoods, a way overpriced Royal 10, and an electric I didn't care for. So but wasn't really trying to find anything, actually trying not to find anything, but
Yeah.
you know how that goes.
Yeah. Yeah, when we were down in San Diego a couple weeks ago, I was hoping we would just happen upon an antique shop, but we never did. So I had fully intended on keeping my eye out for a typewriter, but there was a stationery store, which I mean, if you do a search for a stationery store in Riverside, pretty much the only thing you're going to get is Hallmark.
Right.
But when I think stationery, I'm thinking of like blank paper, pens, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And so they actually had a store just like that in San Diego, and they even had fountain pens. For some reason, they only had Kaweco fountain pens, but I was thrilled nonetheless. So yeah, and I picked up some sealing wax there. So
that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the shops I went to yesterday had like just these jars full of pens in a display case, but they were all like, kind of eBay prices. They were really high. So
that's not good.
Yeah, so it's just sort of, I mean, maybe they were correct prices for what they are, although I didn't think so. But anyway, I don't go for the high-end fountain pen since I don't write very well. So
yeah. My sweet spot for fountain pens is $30 or less. There have been a few occasions where I've gone higher, but in fact, one I went quite a bit higher, but I was looking for a flagship pen in my collection.
Okay.
So and actually I'm about to post a video talking about that pen and some other pens, so that should be interesting for those that like fountain pens. Yeah. Now, Jason, are you into fountain pens? Because a lot of us are.
No, my handwriting is just atrocious. I mean, I got into typing to get away from writing.
Well, I have bad handwriting as well, but I just like the process of using a fountain pen. It's a very unique experience. Yeah.
I do have a very nice handmade fountain pen, like a turned or carved one that was given to me as a gift. So like I appreciate that as an object of art, not necessarily as a tool.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh yeah. Hey Bob, how are you? Oh, you're about to have some coffee. He's like, don't look at me drinking coffee.
Yeah, what else is new? Bob drinking coffee. Who would have thunk it?
I know, huh?
Oh, that's great. No, I do enjoy coffee. No, I'm good. I was up a little late last night getting in another typewriter to repair. I've got this really nice Skywriter. I'm excited to give back to their owner. So that was nice.
Oh, that's my favorite model of the Skywriter right there.
Oh yeah.
Well, this one doesn't look all that great, but it did clean up okay, and it types like a dream right now. So
I just love that boxy metal case.
Ah, there you go.
Oh yeah, yeah. This one, no, and the Skywriter for me is the only typewriter that will survive my motorcycle trips. I have one I've taken 10 or 12,000 miles across the U.S. a few different ways, and it does really well. So I'm a big fan of the Skywriters for that reason. But Gregory brought me this one a few weeks ago, and I think it's going to be good to go. Gregory, I'll give you a call later. One of the biggest things I really enjoy doing is I always sit on a typewriter for a day or two after I think it's done, and then test it out again.
Yeah.
And then see how it does. And then if they sit here for a week or two, if the customer isn't picking them up, then I get to test them out again. So I love my job. I love repair. I'm forced to play with typewriters. I mean, what an exciting,
yeah,
what an exciting venture in life. But we've been selling machines. Anytime we put a machine up, it usually sells within a week. So
nice.
We've had to really look at our production, for lack of a better term. I think it's going to end up being that end up getting some more employees in here. So I'm excited about that. It'd be nice to get one or two. I've got a handful of friends who are excited to assist as they see fit. So I've been real big. I'm real big on, operation manuals, good procedures, things like that. That way a business is never relying on one person, I want to say. So I think it's going to be that. I reached out to a program at the local school district called Project Team, and they set people up with employment in that regard. So I think that would be a fun venture. I also reached out, believe it or not, Gregory, like when you're laying in bed and something hits you in the middle of the night. I reached out to School for the Deaf.
Oh,
I thought this could actually work. Like this could be a win-win. I've never encountered someone who's hearing impaired working on a typewriter, but I can imagine we're very fortunate here in Riverside to have a large deaf community, hearing impaired community at School for the Deaf, which is just up the road a few miles from Gregory and I. So I reached out to them, and they were the person I talked to was very excited. So it's a longer, it's they're not going to send someone over tomorrow. It's a longer venture of investment.
Oh yeah.
I think it'll be real exciting.
It's great that you're getting interest in that you're, training the next generation of people too, though. That's fantastic. I'm in Toronto here, and there's a city not far away called Hamilton. And there's a typewriter shop there called Sigma Typewriters. And if you Google it, there's the guy who owns it's a guy named Nick. He's a really great guy, but he's got like this store with no sign, like the windows like covered up with something, I don't know what. And then so no one knows it's there except for aficionados and typewriter nerds. But he's like got to be almost 80 now. And his place is just one of those places that there's just it's stuff is piling up against the wall sort of thing. And I just know it's gonna when he passes on, that place is probably just gonna get sold off and auctioned out or whatever. And it's just such a shame because it would be great if he had an apprentice. So it's great to see people taking that effort and
yeah, and that goes back to the theories of technician versus manager versus entrepreneur, right? I mean, I'm kind of a fan of those, and I've gotten to play all three in this venture. I've only been at it maybe a year and a half. I don't really even remember, maybe 2 years, where I'm actually repairing typewriters for other people. And my history is in repairing guitars and amps, musical equipment for other people, which include really big bands. The bands would call me when they come into town, and I'd go mobile, and show up to whatever, Irvine or LA and repair all their gear for them. So it's not much different for me. I do work a day job these days, so it gets a little busy. But the problem with technicians is that they want to do all the work and they want to make sure the buck stops at them, which is great, which is fine. I completely understand. I'm real excited in these machines to know that if I can have a handful of people touch them before they go out the door to the customer, that's even more exciting in my opinion. So if you've got everybody testing whatever your product is before it gets out the door, I think there's going to be a huge benefit in that. And so what I'll end up doing is not having individual benches, but having one large bench in the middle, and everybody will kind of work around the bench. I reckon it's no different than if you have separate sewing machines sewing one piece together, right? Like everybody grabs a piece and does their part of the sewing and then puts it in the middle, and however they customize it is how it works out. So I had to write out a procedure manual for that and get it all figured out. Well, we'll see where it goes. For all I know, it's going to fall apart and I'm just going to be stuck here doing what I do. I'm fortunate, my girlfriend's here, my son's here, so I've got a few other people to play with typewriters. My son shows up and for the weekend, and I'm like, okay, do me a favor, type on these 5 machines, this morning. Okay, Dad. So he's accidentally fluent in all these machines, and he has a lot of fun because he's 15. He's grown up with typewriters, but it's great to see his opinion on things. I think this backspace is too hard. This margin release doesn't seem right. Whatever. And a lot of times he's just relating it to other machines that that he's done. But in the future, if he ever wants to, whether he's wrenching on motorcycles or typewriters, he'll have employment. I suspect he'll have the ability to be employed. So yeah, it's been a very exciting week. It's been very hot. I started a project or two on my mother-in-law suite to get that all set up as my writing wagon again. That's been the floor I put in there a year ago just completely fell apart, and it's not the subfloor, but I brought in this tile that I thought was really great, and it just disintegrated. So I had to rip all that up. Yeah, it's been that's been a lot of fun. So I'm going to end up just recoating, repainting the floor, and then adding area rugs as needed. So that'll be neat. A few people have asked me how I do that, and I really enjoy. I stole the idea from Joe Van Cleve, of course. He has a shed in his backyard, and I've seen the shed, and it's glorious. I mean, it's got this great thick wood floor, and this great paneling, and these a great chair. And when I went to visit him a few months ago, he was very kind enough to show it to me, but now he's using it. He bought these wonderful bicycles, and so he's storing these very expensive pedal bicycles in there. So it's not being really used as a writer shed today. I'm sure it could tomorrow. But his garage is full of typewriter repair type stuff, which we've all gotten to benefit from. When he rips something apart, he's in his garage on that bench. So I think so. I got the idea from that. I purchased this 30-foot travel trailer. That's what I call my mother-in-law suite. It's a 30-foot travel trailer, and so I've got it in my backyard, hooked to the RV hookups that I put in. So I think it'll be really exciting to get it back to the writing space that I want, so I can just disappear for hours at a time. Honestly, I could do it for days at a time, I guess, and still be in my backyard, as opposed to traveling and writing as I enjoy doing. Anyways, we'll see how it works out.
How many typewriters could you comfortably set up in there? Like set up ready to type in there?
Oh, ready to type? Oh, probably only a handful.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got the desk in there on one wall because it's got a couch, a bed, it's got a dining room table, and I opened it up with the idea. I took out one of the benches. I took out one of the built-in cabinets to put a desk in. I built it with the idea that I'd be popping motorcycles in it and hopping around the country, like pop a motorcycle in the front door. Because I've got those great little motorcycles that I enjoy, the Honda Rebels, and they'll actually fit through the front door. So I thought, well, I'll pop a motorcycle in here and hop around the country a bit with this thing. But it's really served better as a temporary residence. And what it was after COVID, my 20-something-year-old daughter really had issue with her employment with COVID, and she had just graduated from UCR, with her English degree. And so I said, well, you're going to just have to move home for a while. And so I cleared out the third room, and she goes, but you've got like this whole mother-in-law suite in the backyard. Okay. So I cleared the typewriters out, and she, she was in there for several months, maybe 8 or 9 months. Anyway, just enough to get her bearings back and get her employment figured out. And so she's doing good now. So she moved out, for lack of a better term, a few months ago, maybe a month and a half ago. So it's time to turn my writing wagon back into that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just across the courtyard here from my shop that I'm in now. I live in a very old house, so I've got a third of an acre. So I've got like 2 or 3 backyards compared to the next person.
Yeah.
So I've got motorcycles and jet skis and boats and all sorts of exciting things that bachelor type guys like me have. So I think it'll be very exciting to have a specific building, a specific structure just for writing. And even if I'm just writing out business stuff, I think that'll be fun. So yeah, it's been a busy week here in Riverside, considering how warm it's been, all things considered. And I'm very excited. I've been doing a lot of products. I've been doing the ribbon. I've got those mini care kits. I've got all these things that I've been able to nurture and move and that's been fun because I spent 6 or 8 months, and Gregory, you've been over, and I'm going, say, so what do you think of this product? I think I'm going to do it this way and that way. And you're like, well, maybe this, but yeah, this is really great. Good for you. So that'll be exciting to be able to sell my product. Right now, it's all point of sale, or if you purchase a machine, I do a very large accessories kit. If you purchase a machine from me, you get the cover, you get the mini care kit, you get a base, an anti-skid pad to put under. You get all the themes, right? That way, you don't have to go searching for them. And it was no different when you bought a guitar. If you bought a guitar from us back in the day, you got picks, you got a strap, you got a cord. If you got an electric guitar, like these are things you need. You can't take your new guitar and amp home and plug it in if you don't have a cord. So, we'd give all these themes away. And it's nice to give these themes away because it gets people going. And accessories are the only place where the money's at. There's not a lot of money in typewriters or selling typewriters because you put so much time and effort into them to, resurrect them as needed. But the money's in the accessories, right? So you're back to a business where you're selling a $10 product and paying the bills off of that. So that's why I haven't done the true brick and mortar yet, because how do I sell 100 typewriter cans, typewriter ribbon cans a day, right?
Yeah.
Where with guitars and amps, it was very easy to sell 100 sets of strings a day. So,
yeah.
Well, we'll see. I guess that's all business, and who wants to talk about that? You were talking about, you're in Toronto?
Yeah.
Yeah, are you near Willow Creek? There's a great guy named Curry in Willow Creek.
I don't think so. I don't know where Willow Creek is. It's probably got a different name.
Maybe it's got a different name. Willow. Yeah, well, our buddy Curry Russell, he's up there in Toronto,
cool.
Around Toronto. I had a great conversation with him last week, which was exciting. But he's gotten quite busy doing typewriter repair. He was saying his local guy might have gone out of business. He's not sure, but all of a sudden everyone's doing it. So he's trying to get a hold of that guy to get it figured out. I don't know, but Curry's right up there, and his name's Curry Russell, Currie Russell. So if you're on what is that, Facebook, you can find him, or if you're on Instagram, he's under Willow Creek Typewriters. I think I'm saying that right. Willow Creek, Gregory?
Yeah. Well, I looked it up just now. He's in Waterloo.
Waterloo.
Yeah.
Is Waterloo near? He said he was near Toronto. Is that near you, Mark?
It's probably a couple hours away. It's not.
Oh crap! I'm sorry. I've only.
It's a big, sparsely populated country.
But everyone's so nice. I mean, you can't.
Well, you have to be nice because you might, if you drive any distance, you might not see someone for
hours. Okay, yeah, he's over in Waterloo. I was just thinking of and I've only raced motorcycles through Canada. I've never really gotten to stop and hang out too much, but I need to in the future. I always think I don't know, Canadians. I mean, in the U.S., 80% of us live near the oceans because that's where all the cool stuff is and the nice weather is. Where when you're in Canada, 80% of everybody lives near the U.S. And so I don't think that people in the U.S. are that cool, but Canadians do, I guess. So.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've traveled a lot through the States. I've traveled across Canada. I've traveled through a bunch of the states doing cross country road trips and stuff like that. And it's funny. Like if I travel from here to like some of the northeastern states, you go, well, America's not so different. But then you start to go across the states, and the states are very different. Like the United States is not. It's like if this was Europe, it would be a whole bunch of little countries, really.
Yeah, no, you're right, and that's all the states are different, and we are united under one flag. But at the end of the day, we very much enjoy our independence from each other. I know, being here in California, Arizona's next door, and Arizona couldn't be any more different. All of a sudden, everyone's carrying guns, and it's the Wild West. Well, wait a minute, in California, we're supposed to be the Wild West, and so where all the gold is. But
You can really see the culture as you travel around, like I would say, I didn't notice a big difference going from Washington to Oregon to California, but then when you start heading southeast, it starts to get pretty different pretty quick.
Oh yeah, very quick. But I enjoy that. I just took my boy out for a drive around the states. We ended up doing 5,000 miles in 9 days, so it was great to see all the topography change and take him. We went through southeastern Colorado, like the long way sideways, and oh my gosh, it was just so desolate and flat and fields and absolutely beautiful, but nothing like Denver Rockies, that you would think to see. That might as well be part of the next state over. So yeah, they're all very different.
I traveled through the Canadian prairies, which is we have provinces. We have Manitoba, Saskatchewan, and Alberta, and they have this long flat stretch with one highway that goes through it that just goes on forever. If you don't have cruise control, you'll lose your mind. And you may not see anyone else on the road as you're traveling that highway. So I thought we had big prairies, and then I traveled through Kansas and the Midwest, and wow, Canada's got nothing there. Our prairies have nothing on the States. That was a long haul, days of driving. It's just flat.
Luckily, fuel is very affordable, well, comparatively to California here in that part of the country, and you can get across it, and that was a nice thing. I usually travel by motorcycle, and usually depending on the motorcycle I'm on, but every 150 miles, you got to stop for fuel. Well, there may not be fuel every 150 miles here in the Southwest, so you got to plan, you got to figure it out. But they're real big in the Midwest. Everyone's running tractors and farms and cars, and to get to and from the farm, so they're real good about that. Oh,
Bob, you sound like you have almost like we have very similar interests, or our interests overlap a lot in motorcycles and guitars and amps and.
Yeah, we were talking about that a while ago. Everybody used to play music, and or maybe motorcycles. A lot of typewriter technicians have been into motorcycles. In 2 or 3 weeks, I'm getting ready to take a ride up to Oregon, to Portland.
I have motorcycles too.
Yeah. How's this work out?
But no guitars and amps.
Well, I really had to come to the realization the other day that I've moved hundreds of thousands of miles on motorcycle, car, whatever. But boy, nothing moves me or inspires me like a dang typewriter. Who would have thought? I love the writing. So we'll see.
I sold my motorcycle to buy a Volkswagen in the 1995 Volkswagen camper van. That's what we did our cross-country trips in, and I sold that last fall because when everything got locked down, like we had a bunch of camping dates sort of booked, and everything started to get canceled. So I thought, well, that's got to be a sign, and so that freed up some more money for some more typewriters.
There you go.
I sold one motorcycle and then turned right around and bought another one. I still have two, one in Virginia and one in Maine.
There you go.
Well, that's very much motorcycle math is close to typewriter math. I had someone call me yesterday and say, "Hey, I need to get rid of this motorcycle. Can you come get it?" Sure. And it's a glorious machine. People are just getting rid of them. Typewriter. The other day, I went out to sell a typewriter, and I left with one and came home with three because
oh no.
Like what? I bought two off someone while I was there to rebuild, and then I hit a Goodwill or something and somehow found another one. The math is very hard.
Now, Angela, I understand you have some typewriters you want to show.
Yes, and I want to do that. Now you're going to have to see the awful background of my house because I think that I can do it. Is to take off the background.
Looks like a coffee house.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's not the real one.
It won't for long.
Yeah. No, that's not it either.
That's pretty good.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
All right. So the size difference is funny to me. Okay, so this is my Olympia SM7, which I kind of felt like I overpaid for, but I really didn't, I don't think, because it's a beautiful machine. It's in wonderful condition. Baby blue. You can't quite see that color.
Just about.
It's pristine. I haven't had to do a thing to it. I haven't even replaced the ribbon yet. And then, what's this?
Is that a Hermes baby?
Yes, it is. So I was in the shop and I asked the lady, do you have any typewriters? And she said, yes, back there on the floor. And it took me forever to find it. She finally had to come show me. Then I had to figure out how to get it open with these two buttons. But I opened it up and here's, it's hard to see with the light. But
you have to love those red.
Oh, you got a quartz.
It's a quartz. It's Hungarian.
So I think I had exactly the same one. And I had a Hermes. Maybe mine was, I think mine had some dark gray or light gray keys or something. So I think you have more red keys. But I had a very similar one.
Yeah, red. Yeah.
And Bob, I was thinking of that when you mentioned that your Skywriter was the only one to survive driving around on a motorcycle. That's a very similar bulletproof type of little portable.
Yeah.
But Angela, does yours have like quotes? Do you have a key with quotes on it?
No. Well, wait. No, it was the apostrophe I haven't been able to find.
So I sold mine because it didn't have the double quotes for, like, he said, quote. and I was doing double apostrophes to make that up, and it was just driving me crazy.
I think I have that above the 2, and one of them was just blanked out. It needs some, so I haven't been able to use it.
It's above the 2.
Eric got a little bit of it, but yeah, I definitely need to work on it, but I don't have time right now. But I was like, oh, was a non-standard keyboard. So when I said, at first I thought it was German. So the lady's like, you can have it for $10 since it's German.
$10.
So,
wow.
Yeah, so I got it for $10. So I left very happy. Those are my favorite finds, walking into a shop.
I'm glad
buying them online for the most part, but walking into a shop and finding something like that is exciting. She seemed very happy to get rid of it. I think that she's had it for a while, and there may not be many collectors here in Maine. I don't think there are, because things sit for a long time on Facebook Marketplace.
I don't know what I paid for mine, but someone bought it from me because someone saw that little Hermes baby, and they said, would you be willing to sell that? And I was like, maybe. Like, what would you be willing to pay for it? I think they paid like $200 for it. So
wow.
Yeah. So
I have another one. I have a weird story that before the pandemic, I bought a typewriter from someone in New York because my cousin lived nearby. And the lady said she would deliver it to my cousin. When she found out I'm a collector, she threw in 2 more. It started with the baby and then 2 more typewriters. Well, because of the pandemic, we never made the trip. So my 3 typewriters are still sitting in New York for me to pick up. So I do have another baby, but it's not the kind that flips up. It's the other one.
Yeah, that's a typewriter, man. You go to get one, you end up with 3. We all better lock our cars, or people will start throwing more typewriters in our car.
Well, she said her father had a shop. So she wanted them to go to someone who would actually appreciate them and not chop them up. So that's why she threw the other 2 in, so that they would go to a good home.
Yeah, that's nice. That's something so here in Riverside, I'm going to move the subject just a little because I'd love your guys' opinion on this. In Riverside, we used to have Riverside Typewriter, and they were just a mile down the road in the Brockton Arcade, if you remember that. So I called the number the other day. Fontaine was the guy's name, and it's been disconnected. So then I called the phone company, and I said, what does it take to get this phone number? Well, it's kind of a rigmarole and takes a few weeks and, $100, $200, whatever, but it can be done. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I should grab this phone number? And look at Care. Care's like, yeah, get that phone number.
Well,
it would.
I guess the question would be how many people would actually call that number?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Probably not many.
Probably not many people. What do you do? So
that might just be you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think back then, wasn't Riverside 909?
So this card actually says 951 because Fontaine
Okay.
started working out of his house in the older years. He didn't pass away till a few years ago, and the big reason he passed away because of medical issues, because he was out walking his dog and his dog ran off, and then he ended up hurting his leg, and it just kind of went from there. But I know the guys at the county told me he used to come through the county, a handful of years ago and repair whatever machines they had, and he had gotten to. And I remember talking to him maybe 15 years ago. I went in there looking for, I don't know if I was looking. I think I had a time thing and I needed ribbon for it, a time clock, right? And he was telling me, I got all these great old typewriters if you need one, but nobody uses typewriters anymore. I don't know what's wrong with the human race, And he was quite aging then. That was when he had his shop. He had a smaller shop in the Brockton Arcade there next to the soup shop there. So I think, and that's neat. Gregory, an art gallery just moved in there. So where the typewriter shop used to be in the Brockton Arcade, now there's an art gallery.
Okay.
So the guy's been real generous and said, well, come set up a typewriter in case anybody walks in looking for, and I gave him a stack of my cards if somebody walks in his gallery. But he hasn't been there in 10 or 12 years, so I don't think people are going to do that, but you never know. He was really polite about it. But yeah, we've got a great new art gallery here in Riverside doing. So that'd be fun. It'd be neat to do another art exhibit of typewriters. Maybe I could do something like that. But no,
Yeah.
I think I'm going to really look into grabbing the phone number. So that way, and it's, 951-683, one of those older numbers here in town. Care was going to say something. Care, what were you going to say? She had.
I was just going to say you called it, so why wouldn't somebody else?
Yeah. I called it to see. I know he lives just a half a mile from me, and I was hoping it had gotten transferred to his house, and they still had a bunch of his tools hanging around. They want, but who knows?
Well, if you can't get the tools, you can at least get the number, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that would be.
All right,
nice.
I gotta go, everybody.
Oh, good to see you. Thanks for
Thank you
showing
so
up.
much.
See you go. Bye. I
Bye.
can get myself off.
Care, are you still down here in San Diego or?
Just barely.
Yeah.
I was going to say, Bob doesn't know to tell you that he got a new typewriter this week. It's on its way.
Oh yeah, that worked out really well. That's hilarious. That's the funniest. I looked down at my phone and it says, "Free typewriter. I'm shipping it to you. What do you want me to do?"
Oh.
Well, my answer was yes.
I think I said more like, help, take this monster. So you guys might remember I told you I accidentally won a Peacock Blue Royal Custom on Shop Goodwill for like $7.99 or something. And I kind of forgot about it. And then it showed up and I'm in the middle of packing and moving. We leave on Tuesday, right? And so I opened it and it was filthy. I mean, literally, like I picked it up, dirt is falling out of it. It's just like really gross. And the ribbon cover is askew. And I'm like, is this even the right ribbon cover? I'm not sure. I cannot deal with this machine. And I basically threw it back in the box. Well, I increased their packing just by a little bit, but it's not, well, you'll see. Anyway, it got to me the way they packed it. So I just added a bit and then I think it'll be fine. But, and then I just immediately got on because I remember when I talked about it, Bob's like, I'll take it. And I'm like, I know he'll take it.
Right. I'm like Mikey in Life Cereal. I don't know how else to say it. I get excited and I know I've got the process, to rebuild them and get them going again. So it's very exciting to think of all the cool things I can do. Although sometimes I've got a Hermes rocket here that was sitting next to my bench, and I think my girlfriend put it here yesterday. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with it. I know we own it. It needs a few things, but I hope
The door open. Somebody left a typewriter on your bench.
somebody left a typewriter on my bench. I might as well. It's a Cordy Hermes rocket.
Ah,
This is different. Look at how someone beat up the bottom on this thing.
oh my
They beat it
goodness.
up, wrote their name on it, put some new, so all this has to be cleaned off and redone. I've got this color paint, so I could just repaint the whole bottom, but I don't know. It's kind of it says Christensen 519-5044. Maybe that's a phone number. I don't know, but
But that's a QWERTY keyboard, right?
yeah, isn't that weird? It's a QWERTY, and sure enough, there, you know, what you're looking for there is on number 2, not.
That must be a couple of years later than the one that Angela showed us.
Yeah, it's probably late 60s or mid 60s. Yeah, it's a gorgeous machine. Somebody really loved it though, and it always trips me out when how do you get the bottom to look like this when the top, you know, the top is glorious. Look at that. It's pretty. You need some hydration, some cleaning and hydration, but the top is great. How do you get the bottom to look like crap when the top looks so good? I'm not
Might
sure.
have been sliding around in their back of their pickup truck or something, you know?
Yeah, there you go. No, this thing's really good. This thing's really been taken care of. So I'm real excited to get it going, because I've got a few other ones of these that are just trashed. But you know, if they're mechanically sound, yet they're trashed, I think that saves the purchaser a few dollars, and people like that. So it's always nice to, if I can get them going and I'm confident that they're going to type for people and create the worlds and that they want to create and take them more places than a motorcycle will, well then I'm happy to sell them how good they are. So
yeah, I don't mind beat up typewriters as long as they work. That's all I care about.
Exactly. No, I agree. I think you're really gonna like your Skywriter. Even the some of the characters or the slugs are a lot straighter than the Skywriter I have.
Oh,
the bell is still. I worked on the bell for 10 or 15 minutes, and I thought, this bell just sucks. And so I went in and grabbed my Skywriter, and I went, you know, instead of going ding, it goes ding, ding, ding. And mine was doing that too. And I said, well, it's just a habit of the Skywriter.
Yeah.
You can kind of hear it. And anywho, I hope it serves you well. They just have terrible bells.
Well, here's my bell. It's whoops.
That's pretty good.
That one's pretty good. That was a lot.
This might be a little bit older. Is this? I don't know what do the stripes tell you how old it is?
Oh.
No, well, yeah, the stripes were some of the originals. I think like 51, 52, 50, you know.
But the thing that really is terrible about this one, look at that return bar. Look how tiny that is.
Yeah. Yeah, it really takes 2 hands. Yeah.
But I love typing on it. So it's a great typewriter, but there's something wrong with mine. I think I got to play with it just to remind myself what this thing needs.
Well, that's a really good bell. Yeah, I know. Mine is just okay, and Gregory's is just okay, and that's as good as I can get it. I don't know if the mount's out of whack, but I don't need to rip it apart too much. You know, it works, but it sure would be nice if it was. I think it's like that. I think it's similar to that. It's not as loud as I'd like it to be, but it's a small bell. So what do you do? Yeah, this one does the same thing. It's just real.
That's funny.
What do you do?
I have some bells that don't work, so I'm fine with whatever.
Yeah. No, I know. I'd really enjoy getting everything to work as well as it could be, but with how old they are, if it only works 70-80% of what I think it, you know, that's pretty, because the action is great. The slugs are great. Like, I'm not going to worry about a bell too much. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think mine could probably use a new plating, but what's really neat about these is they have these really cool little paper holders. I don't know if it's my green screen is screwing it up, but
yeah, those are nice. Rabbit ears. Yeah.
I agree. Those are really nice. I'm a big fan of those.
Oh, are you going to show us something, Kara?
I'm just packing several. I'm packing several typewriters that all look alike and they all have the same box. And I'm like, tags, you know?
Yeah.
Find the Sharpie.
Yeah. And this one, I think this is kind of interesting. Has a little piece of paper in it and it says slightly skipping issues, sticky vibrator, return arm sticks, upper lower alignment, segment could use a clean, body clean. So I have the notes right in the typewriter.
There you go.
That's nice.
I thought I would use Typer Pals to be packing up my typewriters.
Yeah.
Remember the story of the case that got jammed in the garage door?
Oh.
without a typewriter in it, fortunately.
You need a really big sticker,
Yeah.
a really big typewriter Muse sticker. That would be.
I
Oh,
just happen to have
oh, there you go.
a really big sticker that fits perfectly over that. So I'm going to hammer it flat.
That one, yeah, is that one bigger than mine? Is Kirk putting out bigger stickers than I am? Is that what's going on?
Are we having a pissing contest over stickers?
Him and I are in a great private chat. We're always throwing stuff back and forth.
Not only bigger, but it's kind of plasticky. It feels really sturdy. So I think it's going to be good when I get the backing off. We'll see, because I'm going to work on it during Piper Pals. I'll check back.
Good idea. I'll have to follow suit.
And just for future reference, I am following what Mark and Lola Albrecht told me when I moved all my typewriters down here. Because we towed my Subaru, so I just filled the hole. I put foam on the back, and then stood all the cases up on their backs, and put slices of pool noodle in between each of them to take care of the vibration, and it worked perfectly. And I still have the pieces of pool noodles. I have more typewriters now, so we'll see if they all fit in a Subaru. But anyway,
That's a good idea.
Nice.
Yeah, good for you.
I'm going to pound out this case, and then I'll show you if I got the sticker on. I probably should wash the outside of the case, but I'll probably just spit on it.
Spit shine. Marvin, how are you?
Hi.
Did you get a haircut? It looks like you got a haircut.
Yes, I did.
Excellent. Looks good.
I'm typing something. It's something I want to show you actually. It's an update on last week. Last week I told you that I refilled my my ribbon with dip pen ink.
Oh yeah.
So I'm going to show you what it looks like after a week of constant use.
Okay.
Give me 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. And in the meantime, Joe, how are you?
I am good. How are you doing?
Good.
All right.
Yeah.
It's been a few weeks since I've been on here. You know, busy summer. Sometimes Sundays are, stuff going on. But
yeah,
so.
I know you had that special project with Ethan also.
Oh yeah. That's been fun. You've been watching that, I guess.
Yes.
So, yep. Yeah. So no new typewriters in my collection, but I have a couple I fixed in the meantime. I have a Remington quiet writer that belongs to a local gal, and that one needed, I think it needed the type bars. Oh, it needed the, the escapement trip adjusted. And then I had that large Royal, what was the model on that? The big tan, light colored Royal upright that needed just cleaning and stuff. That was a really nice typewriter.
Oh, the FP, right?
The FP, yes, thank you. I was struggling for the name. Yeah, the Royal FP was very cool. So that was a neat machine. Yeah. And the only thing I've really done in the interim with typewriters here in my collection is you probably saw the last video I did. I swapped out the ribbon between the KMM and my little Calibri. And so now they're both printing a lot nicer, right? So, and I had wondered why John Lewis's typewriter ribbons were so dark, and now I understand it's because he's using cotton ribbons. So, yeah. So, and you can get cotton ribbons, I think, at Ribbons Unlimited. Lonnie sells cotton, silk, and nylon, of course. So, people ask me, where can you get ribbons? And, well, there's a lot of places to get ribbons, but
yeah.
So one of the ribbons that I actually personally haven't tried is the Baco ribbons, but I'm thinking that before I go off and then buy a whole roll of ribbon from them, I'd like to try one spool. And I think that Lucas Dahl sells re-spooled Baco ribbon. So I'm going to probably just go ahead and buy a ribbon from him just to try it out because my idea is if they turn out to be really good, I could buy just a whole spool of ribbon for our typewriter club locally here. And then, and then just bring that along with, a pair of crimpers for putting on eyelets whenever we have our meetings. And if anybody brings a typewriter that needs new ribbon, we could just, spool it up pretty cheaply.
Yeah, that's what I use, Joe. Have you
Yep.
seen? Can I show you my new system? Do you want to see
Yes,
it?
I want to see it. Is this the update to the Speedy Spooler?
Yeah.
Is this
I built it into
the Speedy Spooler 2.0?
Yeah, I built it into a jig.
Oh, okay.
I've been ramping up production.
Oh my goodness. You have yes, you have the fancy bracket there.
So I put the I put the Baco ribbon in there, and then I run it through the counter, and then it comes over here. So then I hook the drill to here, right? And I put the reel on there, and I've got a few thousand empty reels here. Hang on.
So what kind of a counter are you using for counting the length?
Yeah. That way they're all the same. They're all consistent.
Yeah. Where did you get that counter at?
So I bought it's a fish line counter, and then I added added silicone and modified it, but this puts enough drag on it.
Oh yeah.
Holes.
This is where you have to have different hobbies that all converge. You have to know about fish line counters to
exactly.
That is cool. Production.
Comes out of here.
If this is, you can make the Bassomatic out of this. Do you remember the Bassomatic from Saturday Night Live? The Bassomatic.
What is it?
It was a blender. It was a
no
put
deboning.
The fish in
just put the whole fish in.
Yes, that's right. You remember that?
Yeah, no, this the counter really helps because it keeps it all consistent, right? And then I've got the ribbon in here and it drags, and of course I put a piece of tape on it to keep it, airtight. There's a hole, right? I cut a hole, and this is an old reel. I think it's a 16-inch. So
16 millimeters. So you have to do filmmaking, you have to do fishing and carpentry in order to do this properly, right?
All at one. So I put the leader through, and then exactly.
I like it.
I put this sucker on here, and this is how I do the large production. I'm ramping up, getting ready to sell my own ribbon, right? So.
Yeah. So the next step in this is a great system. The next step is putting a motor right on that, so you don't have to chuck your drill into it, right?
Yeah,
because I'm always independently taking the drill.
And of course, since you're a motorcyclist, you're going to want to have a gas powered engine, not electric, right? A two-stroke or a V-twin. Okay.
Yeah, big V-twin. Crank it up, handlebars.
Now he needs a clutch. There's a whole transmission. That's
you could use the odometer on the instrument panel to measure the rhythm, right? I like it.
It's good to have you back on here, Joe.
Ape hangers. You going to do ape hangers?
Right. Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
You could just connect the spool to the axle on your motorcycle, and then just rev the motorcycle.
I like it. Like one of those exercise bike things, that turns the rollers. Yeah, I like it.
Well, this is the exciting thing about using this. I actually do not put the ribbon on the reel. I just put the reel in there to add tension. And apparently I sold a lot of ribbon lately because I'm down to almost nothing.
Wow.
But and it works real well. Definitely kind of makes a mess in here, but I'm okay with that. And once you get it set up, and this just adds enough tension. 16 mil, and this will do. Well, this counts up to 45. I don't know what that means. Luckily, being here in Southern California, stuff like this. I mean, I bought a few of these, and I think I paid 12 or 16 bucks each. I'm not sure, but it wasn't a big deal to modify it. I'd come up with the idea a while back and just had.
I'm sure a film student wouldn't have any problem getting that kind of stuff together, probably.
Yeah, they have a lot of fun. But anyways, this is
I
I
like
put
it.
this together maybe 2 months ago, because before I had the small jig that worked pretty well. It was kind of similar to yours, Joe.
Yeah.
And I'll still use the jig because it's nice and manual, right? Where I pull the ribbon out of here. But I've also got, and then I wind it up. But I've got black ribbon, and then I've got cotton black. There's a ton of. I've got 4 or 5 reels around here and a few other weird things. But I think I'm real excited to get in the business of ribbon sales because I have a really good system for traveling. That's the idea. You can travel with my ribbon system.
Yeah.
And replace it on the fly. Gregory was helping me with it a week or 2 ago, actually. I'm like, how do we build a good system that people can travel with? Anyways, thanks for letting me share. I was just showing you what
I like it. I like it.
Very cool.
I think if I got my friend Ethan involved in making one of these, he would use a stepper motor and software and an Arduino board and have, like you could program what length you wanted. It would do it automatically, but I like yours very much so.
what tension it needs to be at and all the
what tension. Yeah, you could program the tension.
So this does real well. It's real. Once you get it lined up, it's probably 38 seconds of, and then it's full, and then you can move on to the next one, and you finish it, tie it, whatever. I haven't been riveting ribbon. I've just been tying ribbon.
Have you?
Yeah, I really like the tie. The rivets really, we've all seen an old ribbon where the rivets leave marks or they rust, and then that part of the ribbon can't be used, and you end up with several feet before the rivet where it has, and I've had it leave weird indentations where it's just not malleable enough.
Yeah.
I've been tying the ribbon, and that way it's ribbon against ribbon instead of metal against ribbon. And that's
interesting.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you're a fisherman, you could like tie a fly to a ribbon, right? Like a little thing in there. And then it wouldn't go through the fork in the guide.
Yeah, especially if
it's
had
an idea
on it.
Customer, I wish that like you and Lucas both put knots in it, and I want there to be a rivet there because I can tie a knot in it myself. And putting the ribbon on, the way that the knot is tied impacts how easy it is to get it to go onto the spool properly. Like sometimes going one direction and then it ends up getting twisted because of the knot. So.
How does it twist then, Kara? I apologize.
Well, it's not just you. I mean, Lucas does the same thing, but it gets like there's a place where the ribbon is not flat because it's got that knot in it.
Yeah.
And so but that knot has to be on the outside of the thing. So it's sometimes gets twisted. I don't know how to describe it. I don't have pictures of it.
It'll twist it around 180. Yeah.
Oh, it does a 180. I've always pulled them taut. I've never had them do that, but
when I'm installing it in the machine, it's more trouble to try and get it to go with the red on the bottom or whatever than if it has a rivet in it. If it has a rivet in it, the whole thing is just flat. But if it has nut, it can be twisted and I think also I just want it just seems kind of weird to me. I've had this conversation with Lucas and I don't think he cares, but I just feel like, I can tie my own knot. And if I'm going to buy a ribbon from someone else, then it would be nice if you did something that I can't do because I don't have a rivet thing. But maybe the answer is I need to get a rivet thing. So when I get a ribbon that has a knot in it, I can just cut it and put my own ribbon in.
Well, that goes against, again, I'm just trying, I know for me, and I think Lucas and I have had this conversation as we get to have many conversations, but it was, you end up with a piece of metal sitting in ink and then it rusts out and then it's ruining your ribbon. And does it rust out in 6 months or does it rust out in a year? I think it rusts out within the year because it's sitting there, again, a piece of metal in a totally wet environment that it wasn't made to be in, surrounded by all this great nylon ink ribbon.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's a hard, maybe the answer is double knot so it never twists.
Yeah.
Maybe
so you can buy the eyelets, crimpable eyelets at the craft store that are painted, that aren't just, they're like white. I have a set of them that are like different colors, like red and white. And so, and I've never really seen a legacy ribbon with the eyelet rusted.
Oh,
So
I just did one last night.
yeah.
Yeah, Gregory had one.
I've seen rusted eyelets, but not with,
I mean, that's got to be like 50 years old,
yeah.
you know, like age to rust. I
Sure.
can't see a modern one rusting in just a few months, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
No, I've seen the really, really old ones, but I've never seen, ones that I've bought haven't
Yeah.
rusted in years, but
Well, so maybe there's another craft method that we can use. I'm thinking about, I'm thinking in my mind, that's a little inside joke. I'm thinking in my mind that I remember seeing, now I'm going back in time now to the 1980s when I was a VCR technician, but I remember we had these little plastic rivets and they had a hollow little part with 4 little flower petal little extensions, and there was a little plastic, it looked like a thumbtack, a round thing with a shaft, and it went through, and it was just used to hold a piece of plastic onto a circuit board through a hole like a shield. There's got to be some kind of craft thing like that you could just put through a ribbon that would make just enough of a width to keep it from going through the guide and the slot in the auto reversing guide, right? Something plastic that wouldn't rust out, that would sort of be that would satisfy the need for having an auto reversing system, an eyelet. Yeah, so some of you crafty people out there probably know that already there's something like that, but
like a plastic snap or something.
A plastic snap, yeah, exactly, right. But it would have to be fairly low profile. You don't want a big lump on the ribbon, But yeah,
I'm sure there's some. My wife has some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me go look for it.
Yeah. We're going to brainstorm. We're going to fix this today.
Yeah.
Today. And you're
but
right.
I kind of agree with Cher that I think that, when you start selling, ribbons to people, they kind of expect, especially, you don't know who the audience is, right? Like it could be really well experienced typewriter people like us that are comfortable with doing our own stuff. But a lot of newcomers to typewriters they expect it to work, like plug and play, like buying something that works for it, right? And maybe the argument would be that maybe they should learn to do it. Well, that's true, but I think you could widen our customer base, our audience, by making things a little more convenient. Like one of the things that bugs me is not having both spools. Like when you buy, a lot of places that sell typewriters just sell ribbons, just sell one spool, right? And it's okay, but some people may have a typewriter that doesn't have any spools, right? So having the option. Anyways, go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, these are little. Oh, it's hard to. They're so little that they're hard to. But they're little. I dropped them. Well, anyway,
they're easy to drop.
Yeah, they're easy to drop, and they've got sharp pieces on them. So I'll hold the box, but it's some sort of a.
Oh, okay.
They're a little wide, which is why I haven't tried them yet. But I mean, it's something I've been tempted to try. I mean, I've used these sort of metal studs that are decorative things, but they're pretty thick. So
yeah. Well, that's an interesting solution. I may have to go down to the craft store and look around and see if I can find something that might work.
Yeah, something double-sided for a paper. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they make snaps and just studs that are for something or other that she was using. So.
Well, I can do rivets all day long. And Joe, you're absolutely correct. How do you make it as user-friendly as possible?
Yeah.
Having the ribbon not be distorted by a metal stud
right.
is important to me. But will that be important to the next person? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I guess legacy ribbons were always distorted. I mean, they always had a little lump on them, right? It was just the way it was, and maybe that's just part of having an eyelet there is you're going to have that. But and I think it's either Lucas or it's Ribbons Unlimited. One of those two offers to sell you a ribbon with 2 spools or just the ribbon on 1 spool. You have either choice. So that was, yeah.
Yeah, Ribbons Unlimited does that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know Marvin was doing an experiment with dip pen ink on a typewriter ribbon, and he said he's been experimenting with it for over the last week or so, and I believe you have the results to show us, right, Marvin?
Yes. Yeah. Here it is. It's still very Oh, you can't see it properly, can you?
So,
let me do this then. Let me join in with my phone, and I'll use my phone camera to show it to you all.
Okay, I think earlier when you were holding it up, it was showing it pretty clear. Maybe if you just cover the whole camera with it and just wait a moment, it should adjust.
Yeah, there he goes. That looks pretty good.
Yeah, we can see it pretty well.
So Marvin, do you have any problems with the ink drying out?
No. In fact, this is the result of 1 week continuous use. I type about 4 hours each day, and this is about the 8th day I've been using that ink.
Wow, that's pretty amazing.
So I'm quite surprised as well.
So is this like India ink, the so-called India ink that you would use in a dip pen?
No, it's wait, it's just
because there's fountain pen ink, which is water-based, and then dip pen ink is usually India ink, which is permanent and dries out real quick.
It's no, this is no. I would be I would say it's regular dip pen ink. It's not brand specific.
Okay.
Okay.
Because when I bought it, there was no brand. It was just in a bottle.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll have to go to a craft store and figure out what kind of ink, because I know here in the US at least, when you start talking about like calligraphy with dip pens, usually it's something more like India ink. And that dries out real quick and leaves a carbon-like residue behind that's permanent, obviously. But
yeah.
And I think typewriter ink is more oil-based, if I'm not mistaken.
Probably, because it does stay wet. So it's not it's just putting down like a powder residue or anything.
Right. It reminds me of, the oil-based ink for printing presses that kind of is like a pudding, I guess is the consistency of it, right? It's like if you diluted that with glycerin or something to make it a little thinner.
Somebody told me about that they used Vaseline to make typewriter ink, and like Vaseline and lamp black.
Interesting.
Which is interesting.
That is interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned the other day or a few months ago, you can use printer ink, the refill ink, and mix it with a little WD-40, and then you can apply that to the ribbon, and it does a real good job re-inking. I don't think I want to sell re-inked ribbon because they do wear out after a while, and they're affordable enough. You can just replace it. But I was playing with it. It's probably a year ago. I was really playing with it just for personal machines. I've never done it on a customer's machine, of course. But the answer is you can re-ink a ribbon, but 9 times out of 10, it's going to be cheaper, easier, and you're going to get a much better product just replacing the dang ribbon. So what do you do?
Exactly. Now, Marvin, I do have to ask you, is that ink available in a bunch of different colors? Because that could be interesting.
I haven't particularly checked, but I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Because of course go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, because that's one of the benefits of like fountain pens. You're not limited to just like 6 or 8 colors. There's probably thousands of colors you can choose from. And I don't think with a dip pen ink, I don't think they would probably have quite that many options, but I would imagine they would have quite a few that you could choose from, though.
I use some what was called watercolor ink and mixed it with glycerin, and that seemed to work, but I haven't checked it in a few weeks to see whether it held up or not, whether it dried out.
Yeah. I would be curious to know. So maybe next time you're on, you can do a little test for us, like sometime during the week or something, and let us know if it's held up, because that would be interesting to know.
I think the ink is some sort of oil based if it's not pure oil.
Okay.
Yes, if it's water-based, then it would not work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are other disadvantages to water-based ink, of course. I read some time ago. I read old Scrooge McDuck comic book. You all know what that is,
Yes.
of course.
Yes.
Yes. So I read that book. As you know, Scrooge McDuck is quite uses everything that saves cost.
Yeah.
So when his secretary's typewriter ink was ran out, he used some sort of plant, which is of course water-based. Then when his money bin gets flooded, all his important documents are washed off.
Oh. Oh boy. That's funny. Yeah. Very cool.
I wanted to show.
Oh,
I
yeah.
had this. I thought of Marvin when I bought this. I was at a thrift store the other day and found this for like $3 a old slide rule.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So it was fun. I mean, I've forgotten most of my higher math, so I only tried multiplication and division on it, but it seems to work pretty well.
Excellent. Very cool. Yeah. Diane, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Are you hanging out in the garage?
I am. I have something new and I have not taken it into the house.
Oh.
Oh,
Nice.
Beautiful. Oh,
Underwood.
Nice one, yeah.
Which model is that?
It's a number 3. I was trying to show you the number or the decals are really nice on this, which is kind of really why I went for it. I really don't need another typewriter of any kind, but
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
That is beautiful.
I'm about.
oh, I know.
Okay, let me try holding it by the base so that clearly I am not very good at there we go.
There we go.
Beautiful.
Wow. That looks pretty amazing.
Nice.
Oh yeah, there you go. Number 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine didn't have, yeah. My number 3 got rubbed off.
Oh.
If you check out Oz Typewriter's blog this morning, he has a post about a bunch of old Underwood typewriter advertisements. It's pretty fun.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
Now, Diane, where did you get that?
I'm sorry?
Where did you get that?
I got it off the local Facebook marketplace.
Oh yeah, I got mine too.
I'm trying to find the serial number.
Oh.
The serial number?
Yeah.
Yeah, roll it. Let me get my girl for a second. Hold on. Okay. Press that little carriage mover to the, let me see, to the
left?
Left, thank you, yeah. So let me show you real quick. My mind ain't right this morning. It's right here. It's underneath the, can y'all see me?
Yeah.
Okay, now. I can't use both hands, can
I can see what you're doing, and I think I can
press this. Shoot, I can't put it down anywhere. I'm loaded here with typewriters. Okay, now what you'll do is press the lever. Move over here to my left. Yeah, your left. And then here's the serial number right here underneath one of the spools.
Ah, okay.
Right. This is a 5 though, but my 3 is the same way.
Okay.
Well, let's see if I can see it, if I can read it.
If you can't, you need to rub it because oftentimes it's full of gunk to the point where it looks like just a plain old flat thing there.
Yeah, I see a flat thing here, but I can feel that it has something on it, but I can't tell.
Yeah, rub it.
if you can, with some alcohol or something. Not alcohol. What? Well, I use alcohol. What do you call it? Denatured alcohol.
Gin or scotch, either one.
Whatever you have on hand.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really have, I got some soda, but I don't really want to do that. That would be bad.
Oh, man.
Let me see if I move so that I can, let me get my flashlight here.
Let me go to the hallway too and check on my actual number 3. Hold on.
Ooh, I have a serial number.
Oh,
Yeah.
there we go.
Good.
324768.
Now, who will be the first to look that up in the typewriter database?
Oh, Ted, but he's not on, of course.
I know. We need him. I wonder if he's in the comments. Let's see. I don't see him in the comments either. 324768.
Yeah, I tried to talk her down in price. She's like, oh, they go for a lot more on eBay. And I'm thinking, well, I know that, but that if I don't ask, I don't get, I didn't say that, but that was that is what I was thinking,
I saw somebody selling one for, and I'm sorry, hello everybody first. I'm sorry, I just kind of jumped in. But I saw it irritated me too. There's a guy not far from me who's selling an Underwood like that, right? Or actually more like the 5, not my 3. But anyway, he's selling one for $50. It doesn't work at all. There's no, I said, man, because I paid $30 for the one that's in my hallway, which is the one you had, which is the 30. Paid $30 for that. And I had to add a drawband and everything, you know what I'm saying, from a dead Underwood. So $30 to me was fair. This one wants to charge $50. I'm like, no, if it works perfectly and everything, yeah, you can get that higher price. Like I even researched what it was worth. But yeah, it doesn't work. And so he said, well, I'm sticking to 50. I was like, well, good luck. And nobody's bought it. So. Yeah, in good condition, it can go from 50 to 150. That's what it's saying here. So, but his wasn't even in good condition, and mine was in terrible condition. Terrible, and I had to totally revive it.
Well, this one has a bent, the platen rod is bent on the left side.
Oh.
A little bit, but well, that'll be a yeah, I'll take it over to the repair shop at some point. I mean, it does not, other than the variable, it does not impede the function of the machine.
Yeah. That's good. I like seeing those. I'm so passionate about those.
Yeah. Very cool.
Hey, Natasha, I was going to ask you, are you the person that's writing that series on One Type Page?
Yes.
Yeah, I've enjoyed that. That's been a lot of fun.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was hoping to hear from someone because I'm like, well, one other lady private messaged me when she found out who I was. She was like, oh man, I gotta read that every day. You awesome.
Oh, that's great.
I like the way you do literally one page at a time. And sometimes the sentence will be cut off right at the end of the page, and then you got to wait for the next day to continue the sentence.
Oh,
I think that's funny.
Thank you. I actually didn't even write it for One Type Page. Actually, my whole series is almost finished, so it's already done. You know what I'm saying? So every week I'm putting it up. It's already a thing. So right now I'm on. I don't want to give too much away, but right now I'm on Adrian/Simon. His counseling stuff because he's finally going to talk about some stuff he didn't want to talk about. So,
does it all end up happily ever after or not?
No spoilers.
Don't spoil it. Okay, don't answer that question then.
Okay.
It's like a soap opera. It's like the daily installment of a soap opera.
Yeah.
As the platen turns. As the platen turns.
Oh, that's the joke of the day there, Joe. Very cool.
That would be a great title for a blog.
Yes.
Yeah, let's all jump on it. Who will get it first?
We could all do it simultaneously. That would confuse people.
Yeah.
I've been thinking we should put together a book of Type Pals typewriter prompts. Like everybody could select a few of their favorite ones that they've done, and we could make a Type Pals book, and that would be a great name for it.
It's actually funny that you should say that, because that is in the works.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start requesting for submissions for it. But yeah, it's something I've been considering for quite some time, actually. So and now that you mention it, I'm really encouraged to actually do it. So yeah, very cool.
Well, I'm an accidental expert on publishing, so let me know if you need a hand.
There you go. Author Bob Marshall.
Yeah,
Hey,
well,
Bob, since you're
my own publishing company.
Bob, I was going to suggest that your fancy ribbon spooler thing that we were hypothesizing that you could power the gasoline engine. You could use the oil from the engine to ink your ribbons.
Just have it be a total waste system.
Yeah. Like
off.
there's a little drip from the sump, and you have like all the black carbon gook.
Some of the old Harleys used to do that, and they'd just drip right on the chain, which was, good for a little while. But your chain's always lube, but boy, it makes a mess on the machine.
Yeah, that's how you can tell there's a Harley parked at a certain spot. I noticed where I work at, there's motorcycle parking, right? And there's this guy, the Harley is always, usually you have a favorite parking spot, and you can tell the Harleys because there's oil stains.
Oh, wow.
My favorite leaking Harley story is a friend of mine who used to run a motorcycle course, like he had tracks and everything. And so he was helping out someone who at a motorcycle show. So they brought this tractor trailer full of bikes that they wanted to put on the display room floor, brand new bikes, no kilometers on them or no miles on them. And they're taking them out of the trailer. He goes, "Oh my God, it's brand new and it's already leaking." Bottle of oil.
They're engineered to leak.
That's a good Harley.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny. No, that comes. A lot of Harleys will just leave one drop. So will my machines. It has to do with how we let the engine breathe. It's good to let the engine breathe. If the engine's breathing well, you'll get condensation in the engine breathing tube, and so you'll end up with one drop under the machine. So if you got a machine that's leaving one drop, you've got it built right, and you've got it doing right. It's not, otherwise they just plug that into the air intake, and then you end up with hot air from the engine going into your intake, into your carburetors. That's not what you want. You want the coolest air possible. So it's much more efficient. But, especially here in Southern California, smog, blah, blah, blah. But we're talking about a very small engine. So I hold no issue compared to running my V8 Excursion around. I hold no issue to just letting the engine breathe into the atmosphere, filtering it. And yeah, if I park my motorcycle and then there's one drop under it, I know I'm doing something right. So
Excellent.
No offense implied.
No, none taken for sure. But and that's always, I think a lot of, that's the fun of, I love wrenching on motorcycles. I just think they're amazing. I love rebuilding the old Japanese engines, and I've done some Harleys and whatnot, but the carburetors and breathing of an engine and all those things really is my favorite. That's really what I enjoy. And then that's what I enjoy land speed racing all day long. It's all just a big science experiment. How hot or how cold can you push the plugs? What's the carburetors doing? What can the engine do, etc. So whatever. We can nerd out on that for way longer than Wiggins.
Kelsey, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah. Actually have a couple new typewriters.
Ooh, that's
well, I had the opportunity of getting a Hermes for $90, so I went for it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And it was missing that. So that's a 3D printed knob. That knob. But it works great. And it's the petite pica.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's rare or not, but it's cool.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. Yeah. And then yesterday, Friday, I happened along this guy.
Oh, I like it. Yeah.
Oh.
It's a Remington 3B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's filthy.
Oh.
It's, I mean, you can't tell. Here, let's see.
Yeah, you've got all the legends. That looks really good, Kelsey.
I mean, look at the back. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's complete.
Wow.
And
Are
then
those 4 buttons on top? Is that a decimal tabulator on the front?
no,
Or-
those are the numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, the number. Oh, I see. Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's a three bank keyboard plus
Yeah, it's
numbers.
3.5.
Yeah. 3.5. Wow.
Yep.
Cool.
And then it actually says Remington 3B underneath all the grime. I'm just trying to figure out how to clean it because I don't want to ruin,
Oh yeah.
you know, the decals and stuff. And that sticker on the back, I mean, it's a sticker on the back, but it's like perfect shape. So I'm not going to touch that. But
That's a real score, Kelsey. Good for you. That's
yeah,
those are
I
rare
was kind of
machines.
excited.
That's
And
all
it worked.
part of the war effort to save metal, you know,
Yeah.
cutting down on the keys. Yeah, that's really
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I guess it was only made for like 6 months.
right.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's number, let's see, C100167. So it was the 167th one made.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it works. It works perfectly.
That's
I just
amazing.
have to put a new ribbon, and it's these little guys. You know.
Oh yeah.
Ah, little baby.
little spools. Yeah. So I need to figure out how to. It's got like it's like the Remingtons where it's got that little grommet, I think, on not grommet, but
That little weird thing that they have.
yeah. I haven't messed with it yet. But does anyone have any advice on how to get that clean without messing with the decals too much? I mean, I usually use this, but I'm a little nervous.
I use simple green diluted with water, a little bit of water, or some. At first, I was using simple green with no water, and it still didn't wipe off the decals. So simple green, or if you feel nervous about it, kind of dilute it with water. Because I got a Remington recently myself, this Remington ran, and that's how I cleaned it because it was disgusting. It was, see, and
Yeah.
I managed to preserve the decals by cleaning it. See that Remington, yeah. So I managed to preserve the decals still by washing it with the simple green. Yeah.
Okay. Even with the shiny metal, you've used simple green? I've never tried it with the.
Yeah,
I
I would
usually
use-
do that with it's the
on
crumble.
my Royals, I use simple green because they're
Oh, do
just
you?
better. Yes,
Okay.
I like 6 of them. So
Use
yeah,
a cotton Q-tip maybe, and be
Yeah.
real careful around the decal.
Around-
Just
I've got
Yeah,
these
yeah.
and Q-tips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have a horror story of using. It wasn't simple green, but it was something very similar. Sort of a natural cleaner.
mhm.
It was on one of my Royal Senior companions, I believe.
Hmm.
And I was so excited. I was spraying it up, and the dirt was just pouring off. I was so excited. And I turned around to the back. There's the nice, beautiful decal. I sprayed on there, and I set it up. I was going to let it soak a little bit, and all of a sudden, the ink of the decal just started running down the machine. I was like, "Oh no!"
Yeah.
And the decal is mostly gone now. So
Yeah.
he's
See, that's
very,
what I'm
very
afraid of.
careful.
That's what I'm afraid of.
I mix it with some water, yeah, and or let me see, one other thing I was thinking
I
of.
mean, it seems to be like a greasy brown. I mean, it's gross grime, and I'm almost thinking like just maybe like a little bit of Dawn or something on a cute. I don't know. I'm
Oh, I
nervous
haven't done
about it.
Dawn. But one thing I would not use, and when I first got a machine, I used this was Lysol spray.
Oh, no,
I
no.
understand. I didn't know at the time. I didn't know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my God, no!" And the roll
Yeah.
was starting to wipe off, but it didn't get it too bad. I was able to
Okay.
see it and catch what I was doing. But that's when I caught on to the simple green, and other people suggesting that as well. So
Mhm. Yeah, I've had good luck with the simple green with the crinkle finish. I just had never tried it on the shiny. I don't know. I saw, Dwayne uses this on a lot of stuff, but I was a little nervous. I mean, he's done it on the decals, but this is just such a rare machine. I kind of don't want to mess it up because I can see underneath the grime. It's like
Yeah.
perfectly there. Remington 3B. I don't want to, makes me nervous.
Honestly, if I was you, I would basically just either leave it dirty or just very lightly moisten a very soft cloth with just water and just dab it lightly and get off
just
what you can.
really-
And then clean the rest of it around the decals.
Yeah,
Don't-
that's what I was thinking.
You know,
Yes, exactly.
then when you get it all shined up, bring it back on the show here and we'll take a look at
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That'd
That
it. Look
sounds
forward
good.
to it.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
exciting.
Those are great pickups, Kelsey. Excellent.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mike, how are you?
I'm good. How about you guys?
Good, good.
Yeah. Yeah, no running air out there is palpable. It's pretty bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Heat's dying back, but the air quality is pretty poor. Should improve by the middle of the week, but fires everywhere.
Yeah. I was when I was at work, this was maybe a week or two ago. I think it's a new feature on the Windows where it just automatically puts like the weather down on the little taskbar. And if you click on it, one of the things that it will show you is the air quality. And for the air quality, it showed something like 200 something, which I looked it up because I had no idea what that number meant. I looked it up and it basically said that's unhealthy. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, the best way to always relate it is a V8 will put out 500 plus. So if you're close to 500, it's like sucking on the exhaust of a V8, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, so 200 is what, a V4? I mean, it's kind of
there you go.
Grade 4 maybe. Yeah, it's
pretty ugly.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. You've been doing your one type page.
Oh yeah. I got one out yesterday. In fact, I had to teach CPR yesterday, so I left early.
Oh.
And I noticed as I was coming down, there's this one hill, and the sun rises behind you when you're going down the hill. And all of a sudden there's this bright light, and it's sunrise. And I looked in my mirror, and it was just this big orange ball, but there was no sky, none at all, just this big orange ball. And I looked ahead, there were no mountains, and they're usually paramount. I mean, they'll put your eyes out. They're so big and crisp, gone. So
wow,
it's pretty terrible. Yeah, it's an interesting day.
Yeah,
you have to wear a mask here for the smoke and the virus. So I'm gonna have to go get my Mark V gas mask, break it out, and start wearing that around, I think.
Yeah. I know last year when we had that crazy fire season, Joe was telling us how he could even detect the poor air quality all the way over in New Mexico.
Yeah.
And
we had it about 2 weeks ago. We had some smoke drifting in from west of here, but this last couple of weeks has just been absolutely gorgeous.
Nice.
You even get the smoke out here in New England.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yeah. Not so bad. Like you can't tell that it's smoke, but they've issued a few air quality alerts because of it.
Yeah.
That's great. I can smell it at night. I walk outside and it smells like something's burning, and it's like yikes.
Yeah, old stuff like garbage burning.
Yeah,
it's not even pleasant.
But at least it's not as bad as the fires in Siberia.
No, not so bad.
So we have that going for us, as Bill Murray would have said.
Exactly. Well, we haven't mentioned I briefly mentioned the typing prompt, school memories. Does anybody have a typing prompt to share?
I'm typing mine now. So
okay, excellent.
I'll keep in a little while.
Okay. I know I was gonna do mine last night, and we got busy with some projects around the house, and I was taking a break from the work, and I fell asleep. So which often is the case. I take a break and I end up taking a nap. So yeah. So I did not get it done. At the very, very beginning, when I was here by myself, I shared just a brief school memory that wasn't really worth telling. But the one I was going to type up was actually about my best friend in 3rd grade, Tim Collins. We were like really tight, and then one unfortunate day, him and his family were driving on the freeway, and just kind of randomly, well, they were in a station wagon, and him and his brother were sitting in the back of the station wagon because seatbelts were not required at that time. And they were sitting like back to back for some reason. And just randomly, a gang member shot into their car. It went through his neck and lodged into his brother.
Oh, no.
So we heard about this, and we knew he was in the hospital, and I don't remember that I actually went to the hospital. I know I wanted to, but I have no memory of the hospital itself. So I'm guessing we didn't end up going. But then, after some time, he healed up. So he did survive. His brother survived as well. But when he returned to school, he was suddenly like the most popular guy in the class. And here I was, I was his best friend, but I felt like I was separated from him because he was like so popular now. And I was kind of shy and timid. And so I felt like he didn't need me anymore. So that sadly kind of ended our friendship. It's kind of sad it ended that way. But then the weird thing is, I didn't see him for years, because after 3rd grade, I went into public school. And so I didn't see him for years. And then I was in, I forget what year of English it was in high school. And in he walks to the classroom, and I recognized him immediately, and he recognized me. And sadly, the only connection we made is we kind of looked at each other and nodded, and neither of us really thought to talk to each other. So it was kind of sad, but it was good to see that, he was alive and well. And yeah, but yeah, that was essentially going to be my typing prompt there. Although it's kind of a sad memory, but yeah, you kind of wonder what that friendship would have been if that hadn't happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I do have to say that year was extremely rough for him, because before that happened, he was riding his bike in the crosswalk, and at that time they did not have a stoplight at that crosswalk, and he got hit by a car. So first he gets hit by a car, and then he gets shot in the neck. So oh my goodness. Whew.
Wow.
Yeah, what a year for him.
Riverside, eh?
Yeah. That was in the old La Sierra neighborhood. I don't know if you're familiar with that, Bob.
Yeah, 5 points. Yeah.
Yep. 5 points. 5 points is gone now, but
right. They replaced it with an AM PM. Go figure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was a little rougher back then around here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Thank God it's gotten a little better, but not much.
Yeah. But now that I've shared my sad story, does anyone have a typing prompt or a question or a comment or something to share?
I have a typing story or a school story that I didn't type up, but it's sort of related to the typing prompt. So I live about 3 blocks away from the old elementary school that I went to. I went to Mitchell Elementary. And I remember, I think it was in 5th grade, I met a friend on the playground named Robert Faulkner. And his dad was an FBI agent. And Bob was kind of different because he was a student of history, even as a young age. And he was voraciously interested in reading about history. And I remember in high school, he gained a reputation because when he would walk around campus with his books under his arm, one of the books he was reading was Mein Kampf, because he was a student of history. And that particular issue of Mein Kampf that came out in the early 70s was a white book with the big red swastika on the front. And he was carrying that around, not on purpose, I don't think, but with that on the top cover, showing. And so he gained a reputation as being a Nazi, right? But he wasn't. Yeah. But we both went in the Navy together. We enlisted together and we were in boot camp together. And what's interesting is his job rating in the Navy was gunner's mate technician. And if you know anything about the Navy, gunner's mate technician is not about guns. It's about nuclear weapons. He was a nuclear weapons technician. And so that I just thought that was funny. But when he got out of the Navy, what do you do with that kind of a job skill? So he struggled for years after in parlaying that into a job field, so into a career.
Exactly.
But anyway, that was one of my long-term school chums that he had an interesting growing up. He was an interesting person and still is. He's very much a student of history.
Nice. Yeah. Again, at work, I work at the library, and one of my responsibilities is our Veterans Resource Center. I'm not a veteran, but basically in doing that, one of the services we provide is there's an online service called Vet Now. And one of the things that they do is, they ask you about your military job, and then they translate that into, a civilian job, basically. But yeah, I think they might have a hard time with that one.
Well, it's funny, his dad's an FBI agent. He has a reputation being a Nazi, and then he becomes a nuclear weapons technician.
My goodness. Wow.
Anyways.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Joe, since I'm talking to you, you had asked about I'll make myself big here. I had posted on Facebook about my coffee adventures, basically.
Oh, yes, right.
And there we go. So I had mentioned the Vietnamese fin filter.
Oh, yes. Okay. Oh.
So it sits on top of your coffee cup.
Yes.
And so you have a filter tray there.
Yeah.
And then you have the lid. There's the little pot, and inside the pot is another filter. This actually sits on top of the coffee grounds.
Oh, okay.
Filter there. So it's sort of a pour over, but
yeah.
A little
okay.
bit.
Vietnamese coffee maker. Okay.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Have you actually tried making Vietnamese coffee with the sweet canned milk, with the way they do it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty rich, huh?
It is. It's kind of funny because in one of the YouTube videos I watched, the guy showing how to make it, he puts, what we would consider a normal amount, which, I think the average person would say is pretty sweet. And he said, but in Vietnam, they put 3 times this amount. I was like, wow. So I haven't made it quite that strong, but I do love condensed milk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But since I had you here, I thought it would that to you. So
yeah, my usual method is using an AeroPress.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think you actually have the video of that too.
I probably do. Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, if you go to his house, he'll spend 28 minutes making you a cup of coffee. It's very exciting. I recommend it.
27 minutes. Come on, Bob.
It was wonderful. Wonderful cup of coffee. Wonderful attention to that.
Well, I try to make sure that's consistent. So you have to measure your beans and measure the amount of water you're using weight-wise. Measure, so it's consistent.
Yeah.
Because I have a bunch of hodgepodge collection of different size coffee cups, and you can't just judge by how much milk to put in or how much water or whatever in your cup based on height. It's never the same, right? So,
exactly.
So then you have to break out the little digital gram scale, and then now it looks like you're a mad scientist in your laboratory. And you have to be able to do it early in the morning when you haven't had coffee yet. See, this is the fallacy of being a coffee geek, is you need to be awake enough to do the complicated process, but you're not awake enough.
Yeah. That's funny.
Everyone needs to stop by and witness it.
Yes.
Everyone go to Joe's house.
Come on over.
Did I tell you guys that was a few weeks ago, but my son and I were going through, and so I messaged Joe and I kind of said, I don't know if you're working or not today, but I'm going to be, cruising on through, and it'll kind of be the evening. Can I take you all out to dinner? Really, I want to take Andy out to dinner, but Joe comes along too, right?
Yeah. That's right.
And an hour or two later, Joe responded, "Yeah, I am working, and I get home at 9, but have to be in bed at 9:30 or something."
Yeah, some crazy. Yeah, that's typical, right?
I just went, I'll catch you next time. I should.
Yeah, my work days are compressed work week, right? So it's 12-hour work. Well, it's really more like 13 and a half hours with commuting time. So you don't have much time but to get home and get a bite and go to bed, and do it all over.
I give you a lot of credit. Thanks for answering. I'll catch you next time I'm in town.
Oh yeah, please come on by. Oh, by the way, do you mentioned a Corona 3 a while back?
Yeah, and your talk about ribbon just got very exciting. So I think when this is over, it'd be great to give you a call.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. No, I've got a few good Corona 3s. I'd be very excited to get one over to you.
Okay. We'll talk.
Looking forward to it. I'll call you after this. Thanks, Joe.
Okay. Thanks.
I love how you guys say them when you're talking about Baco, because Baco is a one-person operation.
Oh.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, this lady, the lady runs it out of her house.
Wow.
Oh. And it sounds like bacon, so.
Baco bits.
Baco bits.
No, I get my ribbons for my Smith Premier from them, mostly because I don't know of anybody else who makes them that big. A and B, they're local, so it's always nice to support your local business.
So Diane, if you get handy with a video camera or a phone video, you should go do a documentary about them, a short little thing, and put it up on YouTube somewhere. I'd love to see their operation and maybe interview them. Yeah.
I don't know. Her name's Charlene. I don't know personally. Yeah, them. I actually get my ribbons through the local typewriter repair shop. Although I did call them. I called Charlene once, but she doesn't. There is no storefront or anything.
You have to just mail a thing to her requesting them, or call her on the phone and she'll ship them to you.
You just have to, whenever, because I don't even think they have a I don't even think she has a website. But I guess the guys at the repair shop go over there. But I could call and see if she might be interested in something like that.
That'd be fun.
Well, if she needs a little bit more business, it might help her too. She may not want any more business. That's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
She has plenty of business.
Yeah. No, but it would be interesting as an educational thing for the typewriter community to get to know her a little bit better through a little documentary piece you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody's heard about them or knows about the name, but I had no idea it was just one person who was cranking out all this stuff.
Yep. It's just one person. I think what I've heard, and I don't know if it's true or not, is that her father did this, and she basically inherited the machinery to do it.
Right. Yeah, that's what I heard too. And I'm assuming the biggest trick is getting the ink, the right ink, right? That's probably
I'm sure it probably is.
Yeah.
Wow. That would be very interesting if we could find out more about Baco ribbon.
Yes.
It's scary to think that all of the ribbon for all of our things rests on so few resources.
That's true.
It is true. That's why so many of us are curious about how the ink is made, because ideally, or theoretically, I should say, if we knew how to make the right kind of ink, we could ink up any cloth, get a 1/2-inch cloth ribbon and ink it up ourselves. But
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's one of the things that kind of scares me about thermal typewriters. It's not that easy. You can't just go to the fabric store and pick up some ribbon, and then ink it yourself. So
I guess as long as there's Amazon shipping labels, there will be thermal labels that you could print on or type on, right?
You can always get something that's this wide, yeah.
They make good postcards. You buy those Amazon shipping labels and type on them and slap them on a piece of cardboard. Get your favorite brand of beer and take a carton and cut off, make a little postcard or whatever packaging that you like. And, I've done that.
Yeah. And you got others of us to do that.
Oh, yes, that's right.
I know Kyle has been sending those out. He was on a little bit earlier. He wasn't able to stay too long, but yeah. Anyone have any typing prompts or questions or comments? Anything to show?
I want to make a comment to Bob about his mini typewriter care kit. He's still out there. I think
he's off camera right now.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And has everything you could need. I opened one. I don't want to open.
Oh, there's Bob.
Hey, Bob. Hey, but it's got everything you could need in here.
Yeah.
So it's got, of course, a towel, toothpicks, wands for cleaning. I think this is alcohol. I don't know. I don't want to lie on it. I haven't opened that part yet. Yes, it is. So it's alcohol for that and some lube. One thing I wanted to suggest to him, though.
Yeah. Please.
Can you please include a drawband?
A drawband?
I'm being funny because they don't all fit, but yeah, it'd be nice if we could enjoy
a nice 20-pound test piece of fish.
How about every screw they made?
Ever made, yeah.
Ever made, yes. Include them in there.
Just like a temporary one or something, but I'm kind of kidding. I know that, but I was like, man, what if that happens? Because I had that happen when I replaced the drawband, and then unexpectedly the little metal part of the drawband broke. Now everything else is fine, just broke. I was like, what the hell? So I had to take another drawband that someone sent to me that was made of Kevlar, like string Kevlar.
Mm.
And I hooked it on there from what was left of that drawband metal hook and hooked it onto there in an emergency, and it worked. So people like me need drawband replacements in things like this. It's just my luck that stuff happens to me.
Well, I appreciate you showing that off, Natasha. My problem was always I would grab a machine that I hadn't typed on for a few months, and I'd take it somewhere on a motorcycle or in my vehicle, and I'd get there and I'd do 4 or 5 pages, and then something would dirty your gum up, or something would just be enough off where it really interrupt my writing process. Yeah. And I thought, I need a little bit of alcohol. I need a little. So anything little that I thought I would need, I put in that kit. And I've carried that kit, not that particular one, but one like it, for about a year, just to see like, what else could I add to it? What can I do? I love having the picks in there so I can
the
A's and the O's and the E's and all the things. But and then the alcohol itself is just in a dropper. It won't all pour out. So you kind of end up spritzing the segment as needed.
Yeah. Very tiny. I like it. I love it.
And that container, for example, was hard to find. So I took one of those, turned it upside down, put it out in the sun for a week. Like, how's this going to do? How is this going to react? And is it going to be an issue? Because the case is black. So you leave the case in the sun. But the idea is this is a mini care kit that you can keep in your typewriter. In the case, it's plastic, so it's not going to harm your typewriter at all. And it only applies to 95% of the machines, because sometimes you got standards or very small, it's not going to fit in a Hermes rocket case. Well, it might fit in the segment, but, and I'd put it there because it's plastic. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not metal. So I'm going to be selling these in 2 or 3 packs. I haven't figured out exactly what yet, what its monetary value is. I know what I've got into them. And so I don't think there's going to be a huge markup. I think it's going to be a lower priced item, compared to ribbon or whatnot. But you know what, we'll see. I'm excited to get them out. If everyone had this care kit in their typewriter case, I'm sure it'd be fine for several years, 10, 20, 30 years without issue. And you can use them as needed, even if it's simply wiping the coffee, bagel, and tea that you got on your keyboard, at the end
Your
of
latte got spilled on your typewriter.
well, I don't think it'd go that well. But, just whatever. The idea is you've got a mini care kit to carry around, and it's got the label, and it's got. Anyways, well, we'll see how it goes. I'm excited to start.
It reminds me of those old cars that used to have the spare tires mounted on the side of the car by the wheel well. Maybe get one of these high-powered rare earth magnets, stick it inside the plastic case, and you could clamp it on the back of the typewriter like a spare tire.
Do it in. That's a great idea. Have it move with the segment,
Yeah.
I have one more question. What are these for? Can y'all see? Decor?
Oh, I need to explain those. That's an F&J bump. That's a bump. Those are quantity 4. You'd use 2 at a time, the F&J bumps. So you can find, I love putting bumps on the F key and the J key. So I'm always home row because I'm a touch key type.
Okay.
Oh, F&J. I was, oh, never mind. Okay.
Right.
Okay, thank you. I was like, is this for decor? It's cute.
I love those things. I love giving them out to people. A lot of people do not touch type. I tried to give some to Gregory once. He said, hell no, I type like this. I mean, I've tried, I just love them. And so I threw them in there thinking, I'm really glad you asked me that. I think the answer is I ought not include them because people don't know what they are.
Oh.
But I love the F&J.
Put them on a little card that explains what they are.
Yes.
Yeah, I like them. That's a cool idea.
Well, and they'll ship too, so I could put them in a letter. I could just hand them out for free. Give them out for free the same way I do stickers, I guess. Have some F&J bumps. I mean, what do you?
You can market them as typewriter bling.
Right. You can imagine. You should see me searching through the bling department with all the, looking for the most non-bling bling in the world. So, but all my machines will have an F&J bump.
Where do you get those little bumps at? From the craft stores? Or?
Yeah, the craft store. Those specific ones that I fell in love with, I might have gotten like at a 99-cent store at some type of discount store. That's always how it goes, right? But I had been picking them up. Just trying to figure out which ones I like best, and those are the ones I like best. And they're not too masculine or feminine. I think they're clear, so it works pretty well. And some of my typewriters I've put, different color ones on. I've got one with brown keys, so I put gold ones on, like just to be funny. I'm just having fun with it.
I haven't really considered using those. I never thought of it, so I'm going to have to probably do it. I'll do a video about this eventually, probably. Maybe you can come out and we'll do a live video with you or something. Bob brought his F&J bumps. Why don't you just call them J bumps? Why does it have to be F&J bumps?
Better ring to it.
Yeah. What did J ever do to you, Bob?
It's hard to be the letter J.
I know it is. Yeah. All right. I'm being silly like usual.
Lucky us. No, thanks for asking, Natasha. I'm really excited to get that product on the market. I know it's really helped me. I think it'll help other people, especially after I shoot a video of how it all goes.
And I got a couple of new bikinis too.
Nice.
Beach towels for your typewriter.
Yeah, those are not moving as well as I thought they would. But I really enjoyed giving them away with the typewriters that I'm selling as well. So, thank you. I still have, I think 20 or so of each color that I put out, and then I have a few hundred of the black ones that I've already printed. So it's fun to have them, and it may take me a year to get rid of the stock that I have now, but that's okay.
I might actually be buying a couple from you. I got a couple of people in the local club that probably need some typewriter covers. We have one lady that lives in a small house with a bunch of cats, and she needs more typewriter covers. Keep the cat hair off the typewriter.
Right. Yeah, Diane got a bunch, and for me it was, how do I keep Riverside out of my typewriters, because it's so desert dusty around
Yeah.
here.
Oh yeah.
That's how we say it around here. How do we keep Riverside out of? Quick, close the front door. Don't let any more Riverside in. You know.
Yes, I know how that is.
At least we don't live in Norco, because Norco is like horse town in this area. So yeah. I was once helping paint a house over there, and first of all, the amount of dust was crazy, and second of all, the number of flies. Oh my goodness. Whew. Yeah, but you know, it goes hand in hand with horses, I guess. Yeah. So
well, when I was growing up in this part of Albuquerque, which is the northeast by the mountains, back in the 60s and early 60s, it was the new part of town, and there was a lot of, dirt roads and plots of land being dug up to build houses. So a lot of dust, right? But now it's all built up and there's not as much dust here. But out on the northwest part of town, in the little bedroom community of Rio Rancho, it still has a lot of new housing being built, and that's always a lot more dusty when it gets windy. And plus, the west side of Albuquerque and the west of the Rio Grande is a big sand bluff, anyways.
Yeah. So, Joe, do you have any projects in the pipeline?
Not really planned out. I used to do a lot more pre-planning of my projects, but I think things just happen now. Yeah. And without even knowing what I'm going to be doing. Like this weekend, this is the start of my 3-day weekend, and I don't know which videos I'm going to be doing or anything, but I'm sure something will happen, and all of a sudden I'll get an idea, and there it is. So, yeah. I have a number of. Go ahead. Sure.
Oh, I was just going to ask, do you keep a journal of video ideas, or how do you do that? And then to follow up to that, did you watch Van Nystadt's newest video,
yes, I did.
Undecided?
Yeah,
I love that. That's a great video.
I did see that, and I watched it last night. Van Nystad, if you guys don't know, is the brother of Casey Neistat, and arguably is perhaps a better filmmaker than Casey. But so I don't know where it's at right now because my office is in the state of reorganizing. But
your background at least looks good.
Yeah, thanks. My wife, it's all her credit. She's been doing all this, but no, I've been keeping a collection of ideas for videos on 3x5 index cards, and I hole punch a hole in the upper left corner of them, and then I have little divider tabs with subject matter like photography videos and typewriter videos. And anytime I have an idea, I write that one idea on a card. And I use one of those open ring binder things, right? And so it looks like one of those hipster PDAs. If you remember the hipster PDA from back in the early 2000s, the idea of keeping a little ring binder with some index cards in your back pocket, as back when PDAs were a thing people used then, like Palm Pilots for making notes. And this was the low-tech pencil and paper version. Nice. Anyway, so I keep a little collection. It's pretty thick of typewriter ideas, but a lot of these ideas will get started somehow. And then, like, for instance, my friend Kevin, about 2 years ago, he was starting to get interested in doing typewriter art. And he found a book that had all the instructions for how to make typewriter paintings or typewriter art. Like, exactly which characters to hit, right? And he was wanting to do it with multicolored ribbons because he had a Smith Corona. It was like a Sears version of a Smith Corona 6, and it had the 4-color ribbon. So it's two color ribbons joined with a little strip of silver ribbon in the middle, and you would just switch them out, and you have 4 colors to use, right? So I started a preliminary series of clips about that project, with the idea that Kevin was going to finish a couple pieces and then we would do a video about it. Well, I still have that project folder from 2 years ago, and Kevin has been too busy and hasn't finished that project. So that's just another example of I have a lot of unfinished stuff, A
lot of content in the can.
Yeah, and then managing, like I use iMovie as my editing, and just managing the library of clips. Like I recently had to go through and create a second library of clips I want to save if they're not super important. And then I offloaded those to an external drive because I think my main hard drive was getting to be about 80 or 90% full just in my iMovie library. So I had to do some memory maintenance, just to keep my computer running. So
yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you keep a lot of B-roll footage?
I do. That was one of the things that happened to me about less than 6 months ago. Is I had a folder of typewriter B-roll from the last 3 or 4 years or more, and somehow it got lost or got deleted. But so I've been building up a new library of B-roll. Anytime I do a new video where I do some B-roll of me typing or a glamour shot of a typewriter, I'll just before I delete that project folder, I'll just take those clips and put them in a B-roll, typewriter B-roll. And yeah, I do. I have a lot of B-roll like that I can use.
Excellent. Do you feel like you're at a point where you can look at doing a RAID drive or something like that, or I don't know, it's just something to offload it, or no?
Yeah, just using an external drive works okay. Yeah. You just have to manage the idea that you need several external drives, because the one drive has to be backed up with another drive.
Right.
And I don't know, because I'm using a Mac Mini, I don't know how well you can RAID a Mac, and run a RAID drive on a Mac. And I'd rather not worry about that kind of stuff and be more of a creative person than a computer geek. There's always a balance.
I'm not much better, but from what I've seen with some of the other people that.
Yeah, there's several different ways to configure a RAID drive. Yeah. One is you can do it for redundancy, where multiple drives are collecting the same data, but uses NAS. Indro put a comment there. Very good. So
that's already over my head.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure there's ways to manage memory a little better, but yeah, at the very least, offload it off so this is a lesson I learned back when I was playing around with, Windows 95 machines, your documents folder on the same hard drive as your operating system will get filled up, and then it slows your operating system down. So I learned years ago, don't put your documents on the main drive where your operating system is. You just use that main drive for the operating system and your program files. And you try to move everything else to an external drive, and then you can keep your computer running and that better. And that works both with Windows and with Macs, right? Generally, it's just a principle.
Right. Good. Yeah. Good practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that if you're a creative person these days, you're probably going to be using a computer for your creativity, and you just have to treat them like a tool, right? Like if you drive a car for a living, you have to get the oil changed once in a while and air the tires up, and you don't want to be a mechanic necessarily, but you just want to do the bare minimum and to get it running. And that's kind of the way a lot of us creative people are, is we aren't necessarily interested in becoming computer hobbyists, but we want to have just enough skill to manage it ourselves. And fortunately, we have a huge resource out there on the internet, right, to learn how to do stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And YouTube specifically.
Yes. My friend Ethan calls it YouTube University. That's where he learns everything.
It really is.
Anyways, I feel like I'm talking too much here, hogging the show.
We love to hear you talk.
Oh,
I'd say I gave you a couple questions there, so
I love to hear me self-talk too. My wife would say that. Yes. I'm my own best fan. Anyway,
I see Indro is still on vacation.
Oh yeah,
I am.
Yeah, how's it going?
Oh, in a hammock, doing well.
It makes you sick. So
not too bad.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Well, it's my last evening. No, not really. Tomorrow is my last evening.
Okay.
So, but I'll hold on one sec. I'll put you on. I'll stop the video. I got a present here from a friend, a French friend. Guess what?
Oh my,
Roy.
No, not a Roy. I wish I would. It would be a Roy, but I have 3 of those, so that's all right. Hold on, I need my 2 hands. All right.
The suspense is building.
Drum roll.
It's good storytelling here.
Yeah.
Change this one. So.
Oh.
It's a cork head.
That's Olympia.
Ah.
Nice.
But it's in France, but it's a German keyboard.
Oh.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Looks pretty
all right.
nice.
Yeah, it's just a gift.
Wow. Very nice gift.
Olympia Progress.
Yeah.
Wow.
It looks very nice.
Interesting paper feeder on it. Or
Yeah.
what do you call that?
Yeah, the paper bill.
Outfeeder.
That's just
yeah.
Paper support. Yeah, that's a normal one for Progress.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I like the
Yeah, that's
logo
all
of
right.
that Progress. The kind of an Art Deco style.
Yeah.
But there's no rust, no nothing.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it looks in really good shape.
Yeah, I didn't look it up yet, but yeah.
That's a nice logo. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen many of those, but I never had one. Only this one is a bit rusted, as you can see. But that's the only thing it's rusted. It's not even that hard to flatten. It's all right. Yeah.
Very nice.
And the box is still in good shape. It's a bit dirty, but it's not broken or cracked or whatever.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
So I got that one. And today I wrote 2 letters.
Oh, nice.
One to Curry and one to João in Portugal.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah. Let me change my picture back to me. Yeah, here I am. I'm a bit naked. Excuse me. It is ridiculously hot here.
The naked typer.
Yeah.
Where's my
The poor typist, the naked typist.
No, it was.
You got a
today
swimming
was-
hole nearby? Can you cool off?
Yeah, over there, right there is
Oh,
the
nice.
river.
Nice.
So my dog, he needs to swim because it's too hot.
Yeah.
Do you have mosquitoes over there where you're at in the forest?
Not many. And you just spray yourself a little bit and then it's all right. But it was at night it cools off. It's 18 degrees Celsius. But during the day it was like I think it was 36, 37.
What's the
and even
elevation?
more in,
I'm sorry. What's the elevation or altitude where you're at?
at I think 600 meters plus.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you see the mountains? No, not really, but it's high up there.
Okay.
It goes up. It goes up. There you see my bike.
Yeah.
So was it yesterday I did 63 kilometers and I climbed 1,350 meters.
Wow.
My goodness.
And it was 15% up.
Wow.
Your legs must have been hurting afterwards.
Pretty much, actually. No, I do a lot of cycling here, almost every day, because it's such a beautiful area. The Cevennes, it's really, really nice, and it doesn't matter which way you go. You can go left or right, and then you go up and up and up. The highest mountain is Montegual, and then in winter you can ski there. But if you leave early, it's still cool. And it's so nice to go up those mountains, and because normally I don't like riding a bike. You know, the Netherlands are flat, and I had to bike when I was young. I had to bike a long way to school, like 15 kilometers one way. Rain,
Uphill both ways or no?
Yeah, no, just 15, so 30 a day. I was fit and healthy, but no, but here it's just the best. Just the best. It's
And I noticed your bicycle is not the typical Dutch bike. It's more of a road bike. Yeah.
That's a race bike.
A race bike, yeah.
Yeah, that's a Cannondale. I have one of those. I have a mountain bike, and I have a normal bike.
Yeah.
But and I have an electric step. You know, those Go things.
Oh yes, right.
I got one of those at home.
The
I use it to go.
the one wheel kind of thing, or
no, the 2 wheels.
Oh, the 2 wheels. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But those are still. I use it every day when I go to work. But those are still illegal in the Netherlands.
Oh, okay.
It's just the only country in Europe where it's not officially legal to use them on the street. So if you go to Belgium, if you go to France, if it doesn't matter, Germany, you see them everywhere, but except in the Netherlands. So, but it will be soon, hopefully. But I use it every day, so I just watch out for cops. Like,
so did you bring another?
I stop, and I start walking.
Did you bring another typewriter
with you?
with
Not
you?
writing.
Did you bring another typewriter with you on vacation besides the Olympia? Yeah.
Yeah, I got a Hermes baby.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
that one you showed last week. Yeah.
Yeah, I used it. Like today, I wrote 2 letters, and so I think I did 4 or 5 letters and 6 or 7 postcards.
Nice.
And the postcards are still Joe's idea.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I started doing that last year when I saw your video with the how do you call it? The stickers? Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Good.
So I do that. So, like I said, you weren't there last week, but I told everybody my wife is still at home, so I sent her a postcard.
Oh, nice.
A French postcard from France.
Oh,
From
okay.
Paris.
I was gonna say, was it made from a beer case?
Yeah.
That's my daughter. Hello. Excuse me, what was that?
Oh, I said, was the postcard that you sent your wife, was it made from a beer case?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, she's a dancer, so I thought I'd buy a postcard with the Moulin Rouge on it in Paris.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
Nice.
of course.
Yeah.
It was an old one. It was like a black and white old photograph. It was an old postcard as well. So
I love using vintage postcards. Yeah.
yeah. You can find hundreds of those here on the market.
Yeah.
They ask normally 25 or 50 cents for it.
Yeah.
So I just buy a whole bunch of them.
Exactly.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, I have a big stack of them.
Yeah, I was surprised that you were still online because I was swimming. I saw in the notification that you were online, but
yeah,
it was so hot. I was having a beer and I was swimming.
Now, is the heat there? Is it a dry heat or is it humid?
No, it's dry.
Okay.
No.
So that's not too bad then.
Oh well, it's really. There is some shade here, and I create some shade, and I'm up on the campsite, where's the little forest you can see around me.
Yeah.
But still, it's burning hot, and I think in Italy they measured 48.8 degrees Celsius, which is almost 50. That's not normal, That's really strange. They say that the Sahara is crossing the middle. How do you say it? Middle East Sea.
Mm-hmm.
So the heat is going up north to Europe. Yeah. So that's climate change for sure.
Yeah. Do you know what the weather is like in the Netherlands right now?
Yeah, it's raining.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I speak to my wife like once or twice a day.
Yeah.
My daughter corrects me. I spoke to my wife. No, I speak to my wife once or twice a day.
Oh.
And no, and she's correcting me, but wrongly. But no, it's raining. It's not a good summer there. It's all summer. It's raining, storming, thunder, hail. Maybe then 1 or 2 days nice weather, and then again it's not good.
Okay.
So it's the opposite of here.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I understand Natasha has her prompt done.
Yes, I do. If y'all are ready.
Yeah, we're ready.
I might have to use a flashlight. I'm using all type of lights and nothing's working.
Oh.
No. Let me do this. Okay, so school. I did not like school. My most memorable time was high school. I wasn't popular nor unpopular. I was largely ignored and did enough to pass the courses. The only class I liked was art. As far as best friends, my lifelong best friend from my neighborhood, which this year is our 40th year of friendship, when I turn 40 something another in a few days. Anyway, as far as best friends, my lifelong best friend from my neighborhood was 4 years younger than I was. So we never attended the same school together. So in high school, each year I had a new best friend. Don't remember why, but that was the one person that I ate lunch with every day. The height of my high school years was being asked to prom by a popular jock who I went to kindergarten with. We rarely spoke in school, sometimes on the bus, but he asked me out of all the prettier cheerleaders, etc., to go with him. Of course, I said yes, and I felt safe with him because we went way back. Our 30th class reunion is next month. I am going to have to locate that prom photo somewhere in my garage. Junior high was a very interesting time for me as well. I met the father of my two now adult sons in 8th grade in Mr. Godby's class. He had a jerry curl. I don't know if any of y'all are familiar with jerry curls, drippy stuff. Okay, so y'all, okay. But he had a jerry curl and it was drippy and dripped on my work sometimes as he sat in front of me. He ended up in front of me because he ran his mouth too much, probably to other girls, as he was a notorious cheater. That I would learn later. We weren't even thinking about a relationship then. He was trying to flirt with me, but I wasn't with him. I was still playing with Dollhouse. Anyway, we used to ride our bikes together though. We were friends like that. So anyway, I had a best friend named Jennifer who was in that class too. And we would exchange swatches. Y'all remember swatches, of course. Every now and then, Mr. Godby was interesting, as he would never say shh, like to make you be quiet. He wouldn't say shh. He would say st, like a snake. He just, I don't know if it was he even have teeth or I mean, he was really old. He was like, st, and we would just be like, what? Anyway, he would say, and he had to be about 100 years old back then. So another teacher in that same junior high named Mr. Veneco drove a green Winnebago. And one day it was particularly hot in the class, social studies, and the fan was on. He got in front of it and his toupee came flying off. That was hilarious. And I didn't even know that was a toupee. It was pretty good up there on his head. I didn't know it. Anyway, it was pretty good, but it flew off that day. So he was a great one to play practical jokes on too. The class conspired that if he said a certain word, I don't remember the word. When he said a certain word, we would all drop our books on the floor at the same time. He said it, we did it. Another hilarious moment, and he was mad. I was also known as an artist in high school. I drew fashion designs. At the time, I was not sewing them. Girls would ask me to sketch them designs, and they would have their dresses made off of them. That was cool.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's like a bunch of jumbled memories. So
no, that's good. That's good. Very good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I do want to mention to Kyle that well, and we do have Patty here now. Patty sent you a message. So yeah.
Thank you, Patty.
Yeah.
Oh, you're welcome. Just reply and let me know what you're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Glad we were able to connect.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so we have Dan here. How are you, Dan?
Hello, I'm fine. Thank you very much. I'm sitting down for the moment. I was in a run yesterday night. I ran 10,000 meters. So I'm a bit stiff today, but still I can move along fairly nice. I heard it was raining in Holland. It's been raining in Sweden for 2 weeks, mostly, and thunderclaps every other day. That's speaking about the climate change. we have very dry spells and very intense rain weather. And Swedish summer, way back, as long as I can remember, had about maximum 1 or 2 thunderous nights a summer, but now it's been every other night. So I was fortunate not to get rained on last night, but so, and I'm in a forbidden zone. I'm doing this for my son's room, so he can and will kill me if he knows I'm here. So.
Well, hopefully he doesn't watch YouTube.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Okay.
He's only involved in cars and training, building muscles. So yeah, I can show he's got a little bit of a collection going on. Here it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is my son. I am probably the most. I'm not much of a mechanic myself, so I don't know where he's picked up this from, but still, he's very and collecting cans. I maybe have nurtured a hoarder. I don't know, but as you can see, I'm gonna get rid of those. But so I'm from his room today.
But those are all Lego.
Yeah,
those are all Lego.
Yeah. And he actually got me a Darth Vader helmet head in Lego for my birthday. And I've been doing this the last week, and I'm so lousy. I've done Lego for 35 years. I'm not at least any better than I was in the 80s. So one piece at a time, looking, counting the spikes. What do you say, the pricky things? Yeah. Oh, this is going to be the fall project. It's so embarrassing. He's calling and saying, "How does it go?" Well, slowly and steadily. Daddy has much to do otherwise too. So it's. But it's okay.
I bought that Ghostbusters car of Lego.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That new one, the Ecto 1.
Ecto 1.
Lego.
Oh, cool. Yeah, cool.
That one's
Have you guys
really
seen the Lego typewriter kit?
Yeah,
yeah. I've seen that one too.
I have wondered if I would. I saw it come up in a Swedish secondhand site now, a lot cheaper. But I don't think I'm gonna go on for that one if I can't make the Darth Vader helmet first. So I'm gonna do the helmet first, then on to the typewriter. So
Very good.
I don't think. Oh no, it's not a good thing. I think I maybe end up not doing it or letting my son do it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. My nephews are big into especially Star Wars logos, and I just have no interest. Back then I like to play with them. I would make random things though. As far as these, I don't even know if they had these kits back then. I don't remember them. I just remember like basic sets of Legos, and you would build whatever. But now it's all about the sets to build a very particular thing,
Yeah.
That Lego Star Wars thing that happened when George Lucas sold his rights to Disney, and Disney made a deal with Lego. It's all merchandise.
Yeah. Actually, in downtown Disney, they have a Lego store.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Nice.
Does anyone have the typewriter from Lego or not?
No.
I know
nobody.
Lucas Dual does. I think he made a video. If you look up his channel, I think he has it on there.
All right.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, a few people in the Facebook typewriter group have mentioned that they've done it or they have it, but I don't know of anybody personally.
Yeah, and basically one key actually works, right? And then the rest are functioning.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, one lever works. All the keys work. You can press all the keys, but only one lever in the middle in the center works.
Okay.
But the carriage moves. Doesn't matter which key you press, the carriage moves. And you can put a piece of paper in it, but it doesn't really type. It's only one lever that goes back and front.
Yeah.
It doesn't touch the paper or whatever. Well, I'm thinking about it. Maybe, it's a limited model, and those things go pretty quick with Lego. They always say buy two because it's better to invest in Lego than in gold. So if you buy one and then you put the other one in the attic and leave it completely intact, and then after 5 years it's double the value. So and sell it then, and then you got your first one for free. So that's what they say, and it's true. It's true.
Yeah. I really think typewriters are a better investment than Legos these days, but that's just
yeah, for sure.
Sure. This
They are
really,
publicly good.
this really says something about the typewriter resurgence, that they actually made a Lego set of the typewriter. So, I'm sorry, were you going to say something, Kyle?
I was just going to say, for any of the COVID stock novices out there, Lego is not publicly traded, so that's like the best that you could hope for is buy the pieces and resell them down the line.
Exactly. Yeah. Very cool.
All right, I'll have to say bye because it's pizza night and it's the last night. So it's going to be a stone oven pizza, French style.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
I'm going to get dressed.
Yeah.
And the more beer you drink tonight, the less you have to carry out, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Thank you so much.
Strangely enough, I'm in the country of the wines, but it's mostly beer. But yeah. All right. Well, happy days, and see you next week.
See you next week.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Now, Diane, what do you have going on there?
What do I have? What do I have going on here? Oh.
Oh. Nice.
Yeah, well, the return lever isn't returning, so.
Oh.
See what kind of state it's in.
Yeah.
Hey, Diane.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten your letter just yet, so hopefully it'll come soon.
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, that's why I was just typing to you, but since you're in there, I was like, yeah. So hopefully it'll come on in.
Oh, and then go ahead.
No, that's it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I believe Patty, you ran off to, was it an antique store?
We have an auction place nearby that doesn't do auctions anymore. And I was in there about a year or so ago, and he had one little plastic typewriter, and he wanted an astronomical amount of money for it. So I never stepped back in there again. And then a friend sent me a picture of this beautiful desk with six typewriters on it that he had for sale. And one of them was a Voss, which is kind of unique around here. So I went over there to see him, and I kind of thought that it would probably be overly priced. The way he was, I was really concerned that it was going to be a fruitless trip. But he seems to realize that he's going to have to price them like he wants to sell them. So I walked out with the Voss and an Olympic electric with Congress Elite on it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not fond of electrics. I've already got enough of them, but this one is kind of nice. So I bought it, but I got both of them for $75.
Oh,
Voss needs some help. So I'm going to have, but the zippers are good on the case on both sides. The zippers are intact on the case. So I thought that was kind of a plus. The space bar barely wants to move, and it's missing its badge on the front. But otherwise, it's in pretty good shape. So I think I'll be able to resurrect it from the dead. But right now, I'm playing with my topless machine that I picked up for free yesterday with the Techno on it, the little Olympia. So that's what I've been working on last day or two here.
Cool. Boy,
so
I'm so glad you're
I got enough to work on.
Yeah. Excellent.
I'm acquiring them faster than I can fix them. That's the bad part. I've got so many of them that need work done now, so I've got to stop for a while and get caught up a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Sell some of those Olympias to somebody, and maybe I can get rid of a couple of them and my SM3s and see if I can't find somebody interested in them, Kyle.
I sent you a message. Let's
okay.
We'll
I'll check it out. I'll check it out. I've got an italic and an elite and a pica, I think. So chocolate brown is the pica one, I think, and then I have an elite in gray, and I have the dark green in italic, which is a beautiful machine. So maybe there's something that they might be interested in. I'll message you back.
Well, you're a good salesperson because you say chocolate brown.
It's chocolate. It reminds me of hot cocoa. It really does.
Okay, you're selling it even more. There you go.
Yeah, it's a beautiful color. It doesn't, I don't know, maybe it's a little darker than hot chocolate, but kind of reminds me of a Hershey bar, that color brown. So it's a beautiful machine, and it was well taken care of. So maybe that might be something he's interested in, but they're not my favorite. I don't know why. I just have not acquired a love of them like so many people have. You know, once I found my SG1, I've kind of put everything else away, and it's what I use for my everyday typing now, my letters and stuff that I do. So maybe somebody else can love them more than I do.
And hopefully it's Kyle.
Yeah, hopefully it's Kyle.
At least one. Maybe
Yeah,
at least one of them. I don't know about all three, but
yeah.
Oh, come on. I'll give you a really good deal on all three.
Yeah, right, for all three. Yeah, exactly.
Where are you located, Kyle?
I'm in DC, so it's
okay.
Not quite cross country ship, but halfway, I guess.
Yeah, halfway. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'll message you back and send you some pictures, and we'll see.
I just sent you my email on a direct message in Zoom. So.
Okay, sounds good.
Excellent.
And nice find on the other two.
Okay. Yeah, it was. That's. I'm anxious to look at the Voss a little more because that's just not something we see around here very often. It's kind of like the Hermes. They're very elusive. I have no idea where this guy found 6 typewriters in one spot, but somebody must have them stashed in their house somewhere and brought them all in.
Sounds like it.
The desk is beautiful. I don't know if anybody saw the picture that I posted of the typewriters on the desk, but the desk was beautiful. It was an Ashley desk, kind of done in kind of a pine finish. It was beautiful, big corner desk. But that's a little big for my house and a little more money than I wanted to spend. So, but I was going to say then that I had a talk with him when I was paying him, and I guess he's kind of mellowed out a little bit with age. He's kind of an older man, but I told him, I said, call me if you get something in and you need help identifying it, or you want to check it out, make sure it works okay. Just call me. I'm less than a mile away. I'll come and look at it for you and help you out. So maybe I'll get first shot at some of these machines that he's getting in.
Yeah.
And, the Voss price dropped dramatically as soon as the spacebar didn't work very well. So, even though I know that it's probably just full of crud underneath, he didn't realize that. And it's really dirty. So, I think he realizes that he needs somebody to give you more information than what he can find. So I'm hoping that the person will be me.
Very good. Excellent.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what I've been doing. It's been a busy weekend.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Anyone else with a typing prompt or questions or comments? I see Dan is typing. What are you typing, Dan? Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, sorry. I'm actually doing very random notes. I finished very random, all play and no fun, etc., etc., etc. No, I finished a novel, not on my typewriter, but on my MacBook in July, and I typed up about 600 pages of notes for that during 5 years. And I'm off for the next project now. So I'm doing a Gothic vampire story. So I'm collecting and reading the stuff from the era and collecting notes from all different kind of places. But it's still 1 or 2 years away, I think, from starting.
Okay.
So that's what I do. Very,
right.
very, very scattered, very, very random, and yeah.
Now, are you writing it in your language or English?
Yeah, No, I'm reading in Swedish. I'm writing in Swedish. So and it's a very archaic. It's essentially Swedish from the 18th century.
Ooh.
So I don't. Yeah, so I don't know if anybody has read the book Mason and Dixon by Thomas Pynchon. That kind of style. He sort of takes the tone and the rhythm of the speech from 18th century authors like Henry Fielding and Tobias Smollett and Lawrence Stern. So I'm doing that kind of thing and telling my story about that. So it's very, very good. I worked for it for 16 months. So it's hibernating now, the stack of papers, but I'm doing it in Swedish. I've never, ever, I actually tried to do a novel in English once. And this is a big sorrow because I got a very random idea about the Man in Black chasing alien stuff. It's not original or anything, but I did it, and I didn't know anything about the Men in Black mythology. I had just two guys in black chasing down aliens, and they were Swedish, so they chased down Swedish aliens. And one later, the movie came along. So I said, "Oh, this is one. This one is dead in the water. I'm gonna leave it." But I did write about 60 or 70 pages, I think. So I was going good on that one. But the film was better. I gotta say it. It was actually better.
Oh, excellent. All right. Anyone else have anything to share, or?
I have a typing prompt.
Okay, excellent. Go for it.
Yeah, it kind of inspired maybe us. It's not real, it's fiction, but it might be the beginning of a book. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, I wasn't the nerd or the class clown. I remember who they were, who took those parts in our school play. I wasn't the jock or the prom queen or the brain or the rebel or the crazy chick or the stoner. All the main characters of our breakfast club were played by others, by the lead actors in our little production. I have heard it said that our lives are not a dress rehearsal, that our movie is being filmed live, unrehearsed. Lines are off the cuff, ad-libbed. No cuts, no reshoots, no rewrites. But I am not the star of my life, my movie. Those are played by others, better suited, more worthy. Even the supporting roles are taken, entrusted to more capable hands. Who am I? I am no one. I am nothing. I am invisible.
Oh, I like that. That's definitely a start to something.
Yeah, something maybe.
Yeah, I like it. You should definitely go for it. Yeah. Very good. Thank you. All right. Anyone else? Anything to show or share or questions?
I got a writing prompt if you.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's okay. It's more of a mishmash. It's not a narrative of sorts. It's much more of a montage of memories from the.
Okay.
So I hope you make something out of it. I loved school, especially Swedish, English, history, biology. I was the nerd and the class clown, making shows the last hour every Friday, imitating other people. Not very popular often. I was writing endless novels by hand and later on my electric silver reed, which I got for Christmas when I was 14 years old. I was a bona fide movie nerd and I read a lot, talking about books, and music was my reading life. I had a bad time planning my homeworks and did them all in the last minute, forgetting books back in school and so on. I was hopeless in math. Still, my family is lousy with engineers. I was lousy at ball sport, great at running and skiing. I was in a vaudeville group and performed for my whole school, about 500 people when I was 14. It was a great success, but I had a stage fright during a month or more. My handwriting was very bad, and I sketched out medieval castles in my math book instead of algebra or physics. I was constantly in love, but seldom dared to say anything. A romantic through and through. And when I was 17, I sent a red rose to a girl in my school for Valentine's with a poem I remember from my favorite TV show, Alf. You remember that from the 80s? I was just nearby when she found the rose and the note taped to her locker door during lunch break. She read it out loud to her friends, saying, "Oh, he must be a poet." But I never said to her, "I sent it." And even to this day, I will be unknown.
Oh, excellent.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank you.
Oh,
I had a bit of stalker thing going on there.
Yeah. And Carrie, did you have your hand up earlier? Oh, you have something. Oh, yeah, you fixed your case.
The thicker on.
Nice.
It's a little lumpy because I just sort of hammered it out and tried to,
Oh.
Still funky inside. I don't know what the permanent fix is, but that's probably for the rest of its life.
Yeah, it's really good.
My display case is empty now.
Oh.
And there's a crowd under the desk.
Oh.
Wow.
How are you feeling? Oh, we lost your sound.
I said I'm stressed out. It's more fun being on Type Pals than going in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But it's got to happen.
Yep.
I'm probably gonna actually take off now so that I can get stuff done. But I got the slugs cleaned on my latest typewriter, so now I felt like I could pack away. So
yeah.
Backdrop next time I see you guys. I don't know what it will look like. Probably stack up.
Right. Excellent. Well, I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I'm sorry to be farther away from you, and Bob, although Bob's going to be up there, but I'll be closer to Kelsey, and
Yeah.
everywhere.
I'm real excited to see your new place. Or see you near your new place, whatever works,
Yeah.
I'm going to make a shack in my backyard, so someday you'll see me out there.
There you go.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's good stuff.
Not having Wi-Fi out there, so maybe you won't see me. I don't know.
That's my favorite part about my route. It's way on that side of the property. I barely get internet here. There's absolutely no internet 50 feet that way.
I think that would be really good for me. So, all right. Well, thanks, you guys. Thanks for sharing everything. And
thank you so much, Care.
Bye, Karen.
See you soon, Care.
Bye.
Have a safe trip.
Care.
Excellent.
I'm really excited for her. That's why I packed up my typewriter so well that I sold her. That way she could just, have somewhere to pack the typewriter.
Yeah. I'm jealous that she's going to get to see the type space.
Well, you just need to come on up, Gregory. Jump on the back of the bike. Let's go. Yeah, you'll definitely have to get up there. And it's just a good solid 1,000 miles. So whatever you can do, even if it took 2 days to drive up. Portland's like that. And that whole area, if you could take a week off and go somewhere, Portland would be a good choice. That's just my opinion. So
excellent.
Donuts up there.
Say what?
Great donut culture up there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that donut shop right next to the bookstore, Powell's Books. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Portland the home of Voodoo Donut?
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
And then Blue Star Donut?
Huh. Haven't heard of that one.
Let me look that up.
I know Voodoo Donut, for some reason, they also put out records. So I have a box set of some 45s that they put out. And it's funny because the box, you open it, and it has a paper on top of the records, and it's a picture of donuts. And then you pull out the records, and you get to the bottom of the box, and it's crumbs. It's really, really cool packaging.
So I just had a donut this morning from Bristol Donut. They're a local donut shop that's within walking distance. So my young grandkids are staying the day with us, and so them and my wife walked up to Bristol and got us some donuts. But they have a double-decker Bristol bus, one of those British buses, parked out in their parking lot. So it's pretty cool.
I thought you were talking about a double-decker donut, and I was
A
really
double-decker
intrigued.
donut.
I know. I was curious.
Yeah.
And just to circle back, Blue Star is in Portland, and I thought even better than Voodoo. So,
interesting.
I might get in a fight with some of the Portland folks, but it's just my 2 cents.
Sounds like somebody needs to do a donut review on YouTube.
There you go. It's my new niche.
Donuts and typewriters.
I love the coffee culture there too.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Coffee shops are outstanding. I was there to visit my son here a while back and spend a week up there, and it is beautiful. Yeah. The coffee shops are great. Be able to walk around and drink all the coffee you wanted.
Yeah. Yeah. I know Portland and of course Seattle are both known for their coffee cultures. So, yeah. Very cool.
I'm going to sign off, Gregory.
All right.
Say good hello to everybody. Goodbye to everybody. And I will look forward, Bob, to you giving me a call later today. Hopefully you can. So,
hey, Joe, I just hit you with a message. But if you haven't already seen him, check out a guy named Frank Howarth on YouTube. If you haven't seen him.
Okay.
Woodworking, but like does some really incredible stuff. Videography wise, so kind of like how you do some cool stuff, typewriter focus, but videography, that kind of cross section between two different
arts.
I'll check him out. Some just unreal stop motion along with just some really good storytelling. So
very good. I'll check.
And he's in Portland, so sorry, that's also what made me think of that.
Well, yeah, there you go, the Portland connection. Sure, you bet. Well, folks, cool. I'll see you guys later.
You, Joe.
And have a great day.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
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 Very cool.
Yeah.
And anyone else have anything? I think Bob is going to call Joe right now because he got off too. He's like, oh, I'm going to call him right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Natasha, are you there?
Yes.
Are you going to? I've been off and on following the marriage counseling stuff on OTP.
Yes.
Are you at some point going to post all of that together, or is that going to be a story, or what's kind of the end game on that? And because I would love to read it all the way through, because I do think I fell off and on just reading it at some point. So
okay. I don't want to put it there all at once. I'm putting it all together in a novel that I'm writing called it had two names. First, it was going to be about Lucinda, but I decided to just make it the courtship of Adrian and Lucinda. So it'll be a book about their marriage, but it will include that marriage counseling. So I've started it, and right now in the actual novel that I'm actually writing on my Mac, I'm not doing it typing the whole novel, just that part of it, so it would be authentic, because it's almost like the secretary is typing from his notes type of thing. So that's why I want it to be like, and it's in 63 again. So you'll notice there's like throwback language, like in one part Negro. I don't know if you got as far as that, because there's certain things about mixed children and relationships.
Yeah.
So in that would have gone back as far as the 40s, but then they're in 1963. So that's just an example. But the novel itself, I'm still working on. Right now, they're on their first date in my novel. So once that's completed, then I'll put all that together. And that's interesting too. I want to say something, but
no spoilers.
Yeah, right. Nice, very cool.
But it will be put all together at one point. Yes.
Okay, great, cool.
Excellent. And see, you're building an audience here, Natasha.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you. I didn't see, like I said, only 2 people had responded. I was like, okay, I wonder if it's all right. But yeah. So
I think some people have talked about that before, where it's like kind of a interesting thing where some people will respond to previous entries and other people don't, and every now and then there's a comment, and other times there's not. So yeah, definitely don't get discouraged.
What is this? Where is this?
It's on onetypepage.com.
Oh, okay. I get these emails from them, but I haven't actually been there to read anything substantial.
Yeah, you should check it out. And I feel like in the last 2 weeks, it's like really kind of taken a step up in terms of the content and it's like really interesting stuff, and variety of stuff and quality of stuff is very good.
Yeah, there's some poetry in there. There's a man typing poetry in there. I've been reading this pretty good. And I even made a comment, which I usually don't, but I had to say something to him. And then there's somebody who has been writing stories in there, 5-minute stories. I think that's the same guy. He does 5-minute poem, 5-minute stories. So actually that's been pretty good. And is Tom Hanks in there? Somebody mentioned he was in there somewhere. And then his signature is on some of those posts too.
Oh.
Yeah. I am 90% sure that you could figure it out based on the stationery as well as the signature. So I'm 90% sure it is, but I don't want to.
Yeah, me too, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I was like, because one of his letterheads had Frankenstein or the Bride of Frankenstein in it. Did you see that one? Oh,
I don't think I saw that one. No.
Oh my goodness! I was like, give me that. I want that. I'm gonna write him because I want that, and just to say, say hi or whatever. I want to write him. So
that's pretty interesting, huh?
Yeah. Keep an eye out for that, Gregory.
Yeah. I do have to say, I usually at work when I'm just starting my day, I'll pop on there and read. But I don't know. There's something about the site that just doesn't. I don't feel compelled to leave a comment. I guess because it has all these people essentially in one post, and I see they have their own. They'll comment back and forth amongst themselves, and it's interesting to read it. That from that perspective, but I just personally I don't feel compelled to comment. I don't know if it's the way it's designed or. I mean, certainly you can comment and it would be easy enough to do it. I don't know, but that's just kind of my. So essentially, what I'm saying, Natasha specifically, don't be concerned about people not commenting because there's plenty of us reading it that do not comment. So
okay.
I'm sure I'm not the only one.
One way they could do this is I wish it could be reformatted, but it's great. Just leave it alone. But David Marlowe, just leave it alone. But one way would be cool is to have a space to comment under each one. So that way, in case someone wants to say something or, they can under each one. But right now it's kind of like I'll have to, because I've commented, say his name and then his or her name and then write down what I want to say, or type in what I want to say.
Yeah.
But it's all jumbled up kind of. So yeah, I understand that. I understand. It's like yeah.
I know another aspect of it is a number of the people that do it on a regular basis are essentially anonymous, or maybe they'll put a first name or a signature that you can't necessarily read. And so I guess you feel like you can't really identify this person to be able to leave a comment. So I think that's part of it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's still a fantastic idea, and the fact that he keeps that up on a daily basis.
Yes, oh daily,
that's crazy. So I do want to take part in it. Actually, I keep meaning to. I don't know how regular I would do it. I mean, my own blog has sat for weeks, if not months, without a post. So, well, the last
post it.
What's that?
Cross post it.
Yeah, that's true.
One piece for 2 places.
That's true. That's true. The last blog entry I made was when I got the Hermes 3000. So it's it's been a little while now. So, but yeah, that's a good idea to cross post it. Yeah.
Another thing too, I don't put my name on it or anything. When I wrote it, because like I said, it's already pre-written. A lot of this is almost finished because I don't want to ruin it. Like I don't want to type anything else on it. I just put a little card there every now and then. You've probably seen says, "Thank you for reading. This is blah, blah, blah. Simone Moore, you know, this and that. So,
so all of that had
so I
been
just
written a
want to
while ago.
explain that. Say that again. I'm sorry.
So all of it had been written a while ago, or a lot of it had been written a while ago?
Been a few months now. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's already pre-written. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't put my name directly on. I don't want to touch the sheets yet until publication or whatever. And I might have to retype it anyway because some of it's a little jumbled. But yeah. And I'm using multiple typewriters, you know. So
yeah.
Don't need to jumble it any more than necessary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greg, basically what I've been trying to do here is just to try and loosen things up and get things to the point where maybe I can get a type sample out of it.
Ah, okay.
I just about got all the tabs released. It's like I finally got the last one to actually move.
did you get that handle taken care of, the return lever?
No, I removed that top plate. Man, there's a bunch of rust under there, and and that's the side where the platen shaft is bent.
Okay.
And I don't know quite what I'm going to do with that. Obviously, it probably needs more help than I can give it.
Mm.
So we'll see what becomes of that.
My boyfriend just did a complete platen switch for me, and he not hates typewriters, but he wasn't into them at all until I asked him because he's an engineer, but he does like pharmaceutical engineer, works on cleaning systems and things like that. But he had nothing to do with typewriters, right? One day I was in the garage, kind of like figuring out how am I going to switch these platens on these two Royals. Because one Royal's platen was totally split open. And I didn't know that when I purchased it. When it came in, I was like, oh, okay, you got me. But because they turned it where you couldn't see that, you know, so, and when it got in, I was like, well, thank goodness I had an old Royal sitting around that I could switch the platens. So he got into it. I was like, well, can you give me some advice? Right on, same thing. And he was like, well, let me see. And next thing you know, he jumped in head first, switched them all out. And he's like, well, what about these keys? The keys were all jacked up. And I knew about the keys. Keys are like somebody dropped denatured alcohol on them and they were plastic and they just kind of disintegrated. Yeah. So he took stickers I had and made new keys out of the whole thing. I mean, he took all night doing that. And I was like, wow, he's in it. Now he wants to steal one of my typewriters. So he said, which one of your typewriters is the best? Which one is the
best?
And I said, I was like, and I didn't realize it was a trick when he asked me, right? And I was like, well, I said, the one I feel like my best is this LC, 1928 LC Smith Corona. And he's like, yeah, that's the one I'm getting. I said, no, you're not. I said, we live in the same house. I said, we can pretend like it's both of ours. You're not going to take it. No, you're not going to just take it in the living room. No, sorry. So I tried to palm off one of these little plastic ones on them, right? One of these. This isn't really plastic, but you know what I mean? One of these plastic type. He said, I don't want that. I want one of the old ones. I don't want that plastic junk.
But yeah, this is
it's looking good.
Yeah, it looks a lot better than just a few minutes ago.
They at least move. They move up and down, side to side. Well, that's gonna take a little longer, and I don't know that I'm gonna fuss with it for that long. But I saw this in the picture.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I was aware of that, but underneath here, it's really rusty, and whenever I move it, it doesn't spring back, or it takes the line. Whatever.
May I ask, is the spring in there? Is there a spring in there? Because it's supposed to be a little spring in there.
There's a long spring in there.
Oh, it's in there. Okay.
But I don't know if there's supposed to be more than one. I have a 5 on my shelf, but
okay.
But the 6 that I have is currently over at the shop because it has the sloping text by the end of the line. It's like, seriously? And that was actually one of the first ones I got to work on because, and this is, hopefully you don't mind, Greg, but it was one of the first typewriters I got. And because one of the guys at the repair shop was taking a week off because his daughter was getting married. And it was like right before Memorial Day a few years ago. And so I took some vacation and I spent my vacation over at the repair shop. So it's like I was borrowing his bench. It's like, yeah, I had to make sure I left it clean at night, even though he wasn't there. I had to make sure whenever the week was over, I had to make sure it was clean, such that he would he would be okay with that. But anyway, the other guy he kind of helped me take apart the Underwood 6 and clean it up and get it going, and that was kind of cool. It's like I got to take it apart, and it was nice to actually have a spot with lights and tools. And so that well, I could, and it was really neat to do that.
Yeah.
But sadly, I don't have, it's like, yes, I'm on a first name basis with these guys. I walk in there, I go in the back room all the time. But yeah, this business here with this line return lever and the line spacer interacting together, that whole section in there is pretty rusted up. So I put a little bit of the, I know, don't oil it, but just to see if I could get it loose and actually functioning, and surprisingly, oil does actually clean up a little bit. I mean, obviously, no, I don't want to leave it on there permanently, but it's rusty enough that that it helps, or at least it helps. It helps in short term. I mean, obviously, it's not a long term fix, but the first time I moved the carriage this morning actually, I guess it was in the car. It was like, yeah, we need some oil. We need some help under there. And it's like, I don't want to get the air compressor going or I PB blaster stinks. I hate using that stuff, but I have some here and I have some lacquer thinner, but for now it's like, let's just see if we can just clean up a few places, just see if I can get a few things moving, and like I said, maybe I can get a type sample out of it, or the ribbons. The ribbon, I've seen ribbons in far worse shape. I mean, when you see tears and ribbons, that's not good. Yeah. But anyway.
But yeah, for the tab area back there that's rusted, I usually use this right here on mine. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's like a gun.
Can't really see what it says because of the reflection of the sunlight.
Oh, let me do this.
Or the light.
Killing lights here. Okay.
A little better.
There we go. So extreme force clip. That's what they say.
Oh, I see.
And it gets it loose. I mean, those tabs in the back, whenever you first get that machine in, it will loosen them up real good for me. It works.
Nice.
So that's
It's amazing all the different products people find to work on typewriters.
Just like gunmetal, especially in this little thing too. Any of these little babies work too. Gunmetal stuff. So.
Oh, I see.
And I've had it. I mean, they continue to work. It's just you let them sit up for a long time. Of course, they get a little. You have to shake them up a little bit. And the ink will. I cover them up really good so that the ink will stay in place. Only one of them gets out of place for me, and that's the tip of S. I don't understand why. I cover it up. I do everything I can do. And next thing you know, the ink is dry when I use it. Still, no matter what I do.
Interesting.
I can't say it's a conspiracy or something. That tip of S is Every time I use it, I have to switch the ribbon.
Huh.
That's weird.
I covered up. I mean, right now it's in front of me, covered completely with a pillowcase, because right now, until I can get all of Bob's covers, that's what I'm using as pillowcases and stuff. So
well, on that one, maybe you just want to make a habit of just taking your ribbon out of it totally.
To be honest, yeah, I guess so. I wanted to avoid that.
I mean, you know, putting in like a sandwich, Ziploc sandwich bag.
And that's what I do. I use my old. See, here's all my ribbons here. I keep them in a giant one, and then put them in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks messy, but hey, that's what I got to work with.
Hey, it works.
Very good. All right. Well, we've been going for about 3 hours and 40 minutes. Does anybody else have a typing prompt or any questions or comments or something to show? Otherwise, I think we'll wrap up. And I do want to mention again, this is today's the last day to sign up for the Postcard Exchange. So be sure and do that today if you haven't already. And I did switch it so that only people that are members of Type Pals can actually see that event. Just because the way I do it, you know, in the email I put a link to the person's profile, and plus I think that kind of adds an element of surprise. You know, you have to click on the link to find out who you're paired with. And,
okay, that's how it works. I'm sorry, I got to go in there and look again because I haven't participated yet, so I need to go in there and see what's really going on with that. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So because I think it was last week, someone signed up, but they weren't a member yet, so I had to have them create a profile, and yeah, so it just makes it a lot easier if they already have a profile on Type Pals. So so now I have it set so that they won't even see the event unless they're a member and logged in. So, but again, it's free. But yeah, this is a lot of fun, and there's quite a handful of us that are doing it on a regular basis. So
yeah, I gotta get into that.
Yeah, this one again was from Emily, and it's a field of goats, because I'm known for liking goats. So yeah, but unless anyone else has anything else, we'll wind up for the day, and yeah, we'll see you next week. All right.
Yep. Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Great call.
What was that?
Great call. Glad I was able to join at the end, back again.
Yes. I'm so glad.
And yeah, thanks everybody.
All right. Well, thank you, and we will see you next week.
Yeah. All right. See you all next week. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.